They brought us to this country ever labor force. We built the foundation and they hate us for it. They hate us for it. We built the foundation and they play us for it. They ain't pay us for it, but they gon' play for it. I already prayed for it. Non-believers didn't pray for it. Non-believers didn't pray for it. We're black and we built the foundation, stone by stone, generation to generation. Vultures said we had no culture. Them vultures got a Jay-Z poster. Them vultures got a lazy culture. Vultures eat what they didn't kill. Vultures sleep where they didn't build. They brought us to this country ever labor force. We built the foundation and they hate us for it. We built the foundation, they ain't pay us for it. They ain't pay us for it, but they gon' pay for it. I already prayed for it. Non-believers didn't pray for us. Non-believers didn't pray for us. We're black and we built the foundation. Stone by stone, generation to generation. Vultures said we had no culture. Them vultures got a Jay-Z poster. Them vultures got a lazy culture. Vultures eat what they didn't kill. Vultures sleep where they didn't build. Stone by stone, generation to generation. Vultures said we had no culture. Vultures got a Jay-Z poster. Vultures got a lazy culture. Vultures eat what they didn't kill. Vultures eat but they didn't build.
Hey, peace to the family. Peace to the family. Trying to think if I should just get right into it. Let's play the intro.
So unless these benefits are going to, roughly define foundational Black Americans, the descendants of American slaves, you've taken away the whole purpose of this. So to make the point that Kamala isn't a foundational Black American, I'm always... Unless these benefits are going to, roughly define foundational Black Americans, the descendants of American slaves.
African Americans built this nation. You built this nation. You're just starting to get real credit for that. Okay, I don't know if you know that. You're just starting to get, you built the nation. We all built it, but you were such a massive part of it. Bigger than you would
let him cook.
For. Does that make sense?
Let him cook now. Which is actually quite interesting because I got a call from the Foundational Black American Society here in Florida who reminded me that Byron's mother is Jamaican, He is Panamanian, and they found it quite insulting, in their words, that he would try to claim victimhood of slavery without a single descendant of American slaves in his family.
I like those foundational guys.
They're so good.
Tariq Nasheed and all. I mean, I don't agree with everything, but like they've got a perspective. If your family's been here 400 years, and the descendants of a lot of American slaves or families have been here 400 years, I don't know. I think that gives. I'll listen to you. Like you've
100%.
got, you've got a point of view that is legitimate. I think.
Yeah. And they're unequivocally heritage Americans.
That's for sure.
100%.
I mean, they're definitely heritage Americans, if anyone is.
You have said that you resent the idea of being called an African American, that
Yes.
you are a Black American.
Yes.
Explain.
I think that when they call Black people who were born and raised for generations in this country, if you accept the handle of African American, that says that you don't accept being an American American. You don't accept being born in Chicago or New York or Detroit or wherever you were born. For generations, your family's been here, built this country too. Sweat and tears and all that, fought in every war, okay? So this is my country here. So I don't want to be called African American. I'm an American American. My people have died and done everything for this country.
I'm always going to be known as a Black American. I can't call myself an African American because when they want to separate us, then they say we are African American. But remember this: when I'm competing in the Olympics, I didn't compete on an African American Olympic team. I competed on an American Olympic team. So don't separate me when you want to separate me.
I am not an African American. I'm an American. I am a Black American. I am definitely Black. And yes, my ancestors come from Africa. How long does a bloodline have to live in one land before they are considered a pure species of that land? Meaning, how long did my people have to be in America to say, hey, no, we're American, compared to some people who are English American, who are Irish American, who are German American from their ancestors, but they get to call themselves American. There's nothing wrong with being African American, but a true African American is someone that is from Africa and moved here, either first generation or second generation, and has a tie to that country that I do not have. One of the first census in Virginia that allowed for Black people to have a name was somebody from my family. So
Africans don't even fuck with us.
Wow.
Because they don't. We're not from the motherland. We're from America. So I'd rather say I'm a Black American. So I consider myself a Black American. I don't consider myself African American and shout that. Because Africans don't even fuck with us.
Wow.
Because they don't.
I don't mind the term African American. I don't want to be called African American.
Why is that?
I'm not African.
Very strong.
That's how Afro get in front of my motherfucking race. I ain't never been to Afro-Color. I never been to Africa. Afro or Africa. Never been there. I'm not from Africa. I'm born and raised in Goose, Florida. I'm born in Goose, raised in Liberty City in the Poker Bean Project. Ain't never went to Africa. Ain't thinking about going there. And I heard it's a beautiful place. Yeah. And I know it's the motherland, yes. But not my mother, not her mother, and not her mother's mother. That ain't their land.
It's Black History Month. We're highlighting foundational Black Americans whose ingenuity, innovations, and labor play a critical role in American culture and infrastructure. Next guest is working to ensure that foundational Black Americans' contributions are known. By author and creator of Foundational Black American Legacy, Teresa Allman. She joins me now. Teresa, hey, thank you so much for your time. But I was curious, what inspired you to make videos spotlighting foundational Black Americans?
Bruh.
There you go, family B1. Oh yeah. I know they were pressured. Who knows why they took it down? Pressure, whatever. But too late. It's too late to apologize. How that song go? It's too late to apologize. We already got it. We already clipped it and did whatever we want with it. You dig? So anyway, there's a lot to talk about when it comes to ethnogenesis. It's really a deep, deep word that many people, many Black Americans explained already. They just that word just wasn't part of their vocabulary. Even on my critique today, Dr. Ruxpin, he even had to go research it. So Tariq Nasheed introduced that word that seems like a forgotten word that many people didn't use. And when he used it, many people didn't even know what it was. And they were saying, they were denying it, denying that it was a real thing without even knowing what it was. So then when a lot of them so-called got a understanding of it, then they try to form their rebuttals and act like an ethnogenesis didn't happen. Or what they're trying to do is pretend as though we're saying we're a new race, right? We're not the Black, we're not part of the lineage of our ancestors in America that either went through slavery themselves, Jim Crow, or the civil rights movement. They try to pretend that we're saying we're a new people, to undermine. So I'm gonna give you a case in point, right? I'm gonna give you Dr. Ruxpin in a second. So everyday family, these guys are going through the little fake think tanks with other people that have a doctorate degree, and they're trying their best to undermine us, find rebuttals, to pretend that our arguments are weak, to pretend that we won't give reparations, to pretend that that delineation is no need for it. Okay, so I'm going to respond. I'm going to rebuttal a lot of their arguments to show that they're just pulling these arguments out of their rear side. Right? Give me 1 second. Okay. Let me go to the brother, right? Oh, I gotta switch. Yeah, so we're gonna talk ethnogenesis. We're gonna let the doctor, make a fool of himself, and then I'm gonna clean it all up and explain why an ethnogenesis already happened, and we're just highlighting it. We don't want to be deluded. Okay. All right, here we are. So I got his audio. I tagged him to the live. And one thing they won't do and can't do, actually, they can't do and won't try to attempt to do, is to rebut something I said, because a lot of my stuff is already fact checked. Like, they'll make a fool out of themselves trying to debunk my debunk on them. All right, so you won't see that happen too often. All right, so let me get to his crazy arguments. Here we go. All right, so I think this is one right here that I want to tackle. Hold on. I call him Dr. Ruxpin. He looks like Teddy Ruxpin, the little bear back in the day with the little tape cassette.
There's been a lot of confusion. Some believe that the ethnogenesis is something genetic, and they're trying to frame it around genetic variables. And that's just not what it is.
All right, now, family, nobody has done that. All right. Especially, I mean, okay, so here's the thing. They would say, hey, if you call yourself FBA, then Tariq Nasheed is your leader because he brought the word FBA to our attention. All right. So they'll pick and choose. Now, when it comes to ethnogenesis, well, Tariq Nasheed was the one that brought that word to our attention. Now, he's trying to pretend that we said ethnogenesis was a genetic thing, genetic variable, whatever he just said. Well, why not defer back to Tariq Nasheed? How does Tariq Nasheed define ethnogenesis? Not the way he just said it. So I'm sure he found somebody online who said it like that. But why they pick and choose? They pick and choose who they want to cite. Like sometimes they'll quote Tariq when it favors their argument, and sometimes they will quote at the exception. So wild person from the net. Watch this one more time.
There's been a lot of confusion. Some believe that the ethnogenesis is something genetic.
Okay, I don't know where he got that from, but he's cherry picking. Why not just get it from the horse's mouth? My mouth. Okay, so that is a straw man. Okay, most of us know that delineation, when we argue it, is based on lineage. All of us say lineage, and we say legal status. We say paperwork, 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 paperwork. Let me get a clip from Turk Nasheed. All right. So I'm gonna tell you how this guy is very disingenuous. But again, Dr. Khalid Muhammad said when a white man can defeat you, he'll send some bootleg, Uncle Tom, pasteurized, homogenized, compromised ninja. All right. So let me go to Tariq. Because somebody asked her that what was ethnogenesis, and look how he explained it. So I'm saying they pick and choose when they want to quote Tariq Nasheed and when they want to quote somebody, a random nobody online, probably a bot or a troll. They pick and choose when they want to do that, like when they want to quote Tariq or some random FBA person from a chat who's probably trolling or not even FBA. We got keep it touching. No, I don't want to do that one. I want the whole thing. I want the whole thing. And then we're going to go back to him. Here we go. I'm going to fast forward a little bit.
And melanin American. Let me get melanin American Indians. So the thing is, black, understand this, black is not just a color. That signifies a lineage and a struggle.
So we're saying lineage. All right, let's get the ethnogenesis.
People will try to co-opt that. Redlining, mass incarceration, they were doing that to black people. It's from our unique cultural contributions. Blackness. That's the thing that makes the shit so great. We did that when blackness was being oppressed, and we still rose up and created all of these great things as black people, as an oppressed group. That's what makes us goddamn superheroes to a damn certain degree. The blackness, that's the thing, that's the key ingredient in the sauce. That's the key ingredient. I'm not black, nigga. I'm Jamaican.
And so Ethiopians, Nigerians.
If you got a question.
Mostly all the people that's over here.
Yeah.
All right. So real quick, let me just go back to what he said. The cherry picker.
And they're trying to frame it around. There's been a lot of confusion. Some believe that the ethnogenesis is something genetic.
Okay. All right. So these guys play retarded when they want.
Yeah, foundational black American, just a black American whose lineage goes to the beginning of this country. That's all the foundational black American is. It is nothing else. There's nothing else classified as a foundational black American. It's only people whose lineage goes to the founding of this country. That's it. And you
did he say genetics, lineage?
Okay. So when you say founding of the country, you mean founding of the United States or founding of, like, just in general North America at the time?
The United States. We're talking about the United States.
Okay, so from the time United States was formed, the people that was here until now, basically.
Right. If you were here during the formation of the United States, that would be in the 1800s.
If you were here.
If you were here as a black person, no matter how they came, when the formation of the United States was happening.
No matter how you came, I don't hear genetics. No matter how you came. Could be different genetics. Let's go.
And you were black, you were part of the ethnogenesis. We became a whole new ethnic group during that formation. So that's what the argument is. Some people try to get into well, who are the Native Americans? Are you really Cherokee? That's a bullshit argument. I don't even get into. That ain't got nothing. That the ethnogenesis is what we're talking about. We're talking about the ethnogenesis where you became black. Yeah.
Yeah. No, it makes sense because there's a lot of people that claim, like you said, you don't get into it, but that claim Native American that I feel like got absorbed by the FBA people, and it's like it's it's a little weird because it's making the FBA how do I put it? It's two different two different views, but they come together to make one. So it makes it look.
I don't know what this is not about views. This is not about an ideology. So somebody misinterpreting history, that has nothing to do with the fact that foundational Black American is a lineage that's documented.
Lineage, documentation,
All right?
lineage, documented.
Even if a handful of foundational Black Americans told you, well, I think we were the first Native Americans, or I feel like I'm a Native American, now whatever.
Watch this.
Our lineage is still our lineage. All right.
Lineage.
None of that stuff. Nobody's ideology deletes plantation archives, Freedmen Bureau records, the 1700 census.
Okay, so you see that he went to documentation next, Dr. Ruxpin. He didn't go to genetics. All right. You see that, family? The lineage is tied to, he just told you, documentation. It's also a legal argument. It's not standing on genetics. So I don't know where he got the dude just, but family, this is what they do. They try to poison the well. They see the spring water that we got out here that we're thirsting off for, and they try to poison it, try to give a new narrative. And this was the brilliance when he had the idea to trademark Foundation of Black America. Look how they're rewriting ethnogenesis in real time. They're telling you what an ethnogenesis is not, and they're pretending that that's our argument. See, what FBA is trademarked. It already has a narrative, an explanation. Something is already, they can't rewrite that, control the narrative with Foundation of Black America. So they go to the next best thing. So now they're trying to rewrite ethnogenesis.
Pages, none of that stuff gets deleted. Our paperwork is still there. Our lineage is still there. All right. No matter what your ideology is, no matter what your views are, that's irrelevant. See, people try to get into these ideological arguments. If your lineage can be traced to the beginning of this country, you are by definition foundational. That's it. That's it. No matter what you can pretend you from Mars or whatever, but if your paperwork can trace back to a certain place, which is America, and you are Black, and your ancestors were Black, that makes you foundational. It's that simple, right?
The way, I don't know why they have never explained it to me this simple, bro.
It's not rocket science, and it's been explained like this before, I think.
So you see that? So that's why it was brilliant to trademark FBA, because they're trying to spin the narrative on ethnogenesis. None of us ever said this right here.
There's been a lot of confusion. Some believe that the ethnogenesis is something genetic, and they're trying to frame it around genetic variables. And that's just not what it is.
So, doctor, you look like a fool right there. Okay? That's a straw man. We don't use it like that. We don't say genetics. Okay? We say lineage, legal status. Why we say freedmen. Why do you think we prefer freedmen when we're arguing or debating in some type of legal status way? We're in court. We'll say freedmen. All right? Descendants from U.S. chattel slavery for the purpose of political redress, not a Black DNA test. Okay, we rely on genealogy. DNA can't do that. And let me touch on DNA real fast. I didn't want to do that. I'll touch on DNA a little later. Yeah, but we don't rely on a DNA test to decide who's Black or not. We got something called genealogy. What is in your records? Okay, so by reframing the political argument as misunderstanding of science or genetic variables, this guy, Dr. Ruxpin, avoids addressing the actual demand for disaggregated data. They don't want to talk to that. Okay, so let me finish cooking on him. Hold on. Let me finish cooking. Roll the clip.
There's been a lot of confusion. Some believe that the ethnogenesis is.
I already played that. Next one.
Where did you come with this idea that black was usurped by African American, by Pan-Africanists or what have you, and it's a governmental setup and all these type of things, but black better described us and all these type of fangled ideas, but then you give examples and say,
wait, okay, he's mixing my talking points, so let's back this up like juvenile. Hold on, give me a second. Give me a second. Let me pause the screen real fast. Hold on, family. What the hell is, I hate when it hides my thing. Let me. All right, cool. All right, so now we're gonna slow walk that actually. 1 second. Let me just modify the thumbnail and we'll get cooking. It's too small. Okay, this might be better. This might actually be better. Yeah, the thumbnail's too small for my liking. So let me go ahead and replace that. Hopefully this fits better. Nope. Nope, it didn't. God damn. What about this one? Nope. All right, we'll rock with it. We'll work with it. All right. So now this guy, we gotta break this down. We gotta unpack this. He's mixing up the arguments. First of all, watch this.
Where did you come with this idea that black was usurped by African American, by Pan-Africanists or what?
Lie. We say Jesse Jackson. Jesse Jackson not a Pan-Africanist. You're lying. You're lying. We said in 1989, black was usurped by African American via Jesse Jackson. We don't say Pan-Africans. My guy Jesse Jackson is not a Pan-Africanist according to public record. All right, we never said that. Let's move on. That's a lie. Straw man again. Let's go.
Have you? And it's a governmental setup and all these type of things, but black better described us and all these type of fangled ideas. But
I said black has, see, he want to act like he don't understand the argument. He knows the argument. He can't defeat it. I said underneath black, there's a legacy, there's a history. Okay, so before Emancipation Proclamation, are you listening, Dr. Ruxpin? Black people were able to get out of slavery without slavery being abolished. And when they could buy themselves out of slavery, be born free. If their slave handler brought them to a free state, they could sue for their freedom, i.e. Biddy Mason. They can be bought out of slavery by somebody else. Okay, if the state allows that. But those people will be considered free blacks, not free African. So when you call yourself black, it takes you to that time, free blacks. If you're African American, it don't take you back to free blacks. There's a disconnection. There were not no free African Americans at that time. There were no free Africans. They're called free blacks. Once slavery was abolished, those free blacks were called freedmen. Okay? And you had an era where we got into political seats, become mayors, we started running cities. Okay? That time period is called Black Reconstruction. It's not called African Reconstruction. That's what I mean by black that it describes as, or black has a legacy behind it, a history behind it. Also, let's talk about W. Du Bois. He got a book called The Souls of Black Folks, where he was describing, I think that's the book where he describing Black Wall Street. Oh, it's called Black Wall Street, not African Wall Street. Okay, but anyway, The Souls of Black Folks is not called The Souls of African Folks. That's W. Du Bois. Find his book. It's called The Souls of Black Folks. You got A.G. Gaston. He's considered the Black Titan, not the African Titan. Then I said Black Panthers, not African Panthers. Black Power, no African power. I'm black and I'm proud. Not I'm African and proud. And Black Power, no African power. Well, again, Black Wall Street, no African. So black first, black this, first black that, first black this. The Black Muslims, not Malcolm X, no African Muslims. That's what I'm saying. And I showed yesterday that a lot of foreigners was coming to the country around 1920, and their goal was to tell us we're not Black American. We are everything under the sun. Whether we're from Mecca, we're a Moor from Morocco, we're a Muslim from Arabia, we're from Africa. All these movements start to tell us we're not from this country. We're from somewhere else. Some people even said Mars, planet risk somewhere. So yeah, so black is tied to all of that greatness. Okay. Now, African American was introduced nationally by Jesse Jackson, and we'll get into that later. But that was that had no historical ties to it. That had no songs. There's no I'm African American. What African American song is out there that's proud? We just watched Raymond Simone's, Floyd Mayweather, Smokey Robinson, Morgan Freeman, Trick Daddy. A lot of people say, I'm not African. I'm American. I'm black. Okay, so we're proud to be Black American. There's a legacy behind that. The world knows us as black people. This new word, African American, that is tied to what? It was introduced in 1989, 88, at the height of the crack epidemic. So when you think of African American, you can't help but think of crack. You had school to prison pipeline. You had mass incarceration. You think of that. You think of welfare when you think of African American. You think of 94 crime bill, stop and frisk. These are the things you think about under African American. You don't think of Black Wall Street, rich towns, and Black pride, Black banks, Black wealth, Black neighborhoods. What's an African American neighborhood? What that look like? Okay, so let's go.
Then you give examples and say,
now I just gave my examples, family. These are my normal examples. They don't change. I might add to it, but they don't change. Now look what he's going to say.
this one said we was black. Martin Luther King said we were black.
No, I never said that. I said Martin Luther King said he's black and beautiful, not African and beautiful. You see how he cherry picked my argument and minimized it and made it to something it wasn't? I just showed where I said blackness has a legacy behind it. It has history behind it. Good history. African American does not. Crack. You think of crack. You think of mass incarceration.
Then they say Stokely Carmichael said we were black. Like, I'm like, okay, that's what you are. Your analysis is already off when you got to Stokely Carmichael.
Now he's gonna do another straw man. Well, Stokely Carmichael, he was Trinidadian, so he defeats the purpose. No, he wrote our movement, my guy. He's in America, standing behind us, chanting a black power. Okay. So he tried to switch it to, that defeats your argument because he wasn't black. He's Trinidadian. No, we accept riders, my guy. Riders can chant our movement just like we can cheer for Ibrahim Traoré. We can cheer for Haiti to get right. Like, who wants Haiti to go out like this? We would love to see a Russian version of Haiti. I mean, like a strong army, decent economy, superpower. Like, we would love to see Haiti like that. All right, so that straw man is gone. He's 0-2. And another one.
So there are some people who are puppets and some people who are puppeteers. Those puppeteers are the creators of the game. I won't even use the name today. I'm going to try to stay away from names. But those who have created these ideas, FBA, in ADOS, I question their motives. I question their motives. And I think it's beyond questionable.
Wait, family, when he said I questioned Jesse Jackson motive, remember he said the government conspiracy when he tried to misquote me with bringing in African American to usurp black. He got on me for questioning that motive, but he's allowed to question Yvette Carnell and Tariq Nasheed motive as to why they introduced ADOS and Foundation of Black American. Their motives are very clear. They got websites. Jesse Jackson motives were not clear to Black America. Okay, he made a speech that none of us ever heard before until now. Until we start delineating, we start to look up what he actually said about African American. It made no sense. All right. So anyway, family, what he's doing right now, that's called poisoning the well. He's ad hominem attacking the personality of Tariq Nasheed and Yvette Carnell. Oh, I got to question him. Family, that is a dismissive rhetorical tactic. Instead of engaging with the policy arguments, reparations, census boxes, delineating, disaggregating, he attacks the character and motives of the people involved. This effectively tells us he is unthinking. Okay. He's not thinking, trying to see where we're coming from when we say we want to delineate, and we like terms like ADOS and FBA. All right. Okay. So no real argument. When I watched this boring video, I'm thinking he's a doctor, right? The doctors they got all the intelligence. We should follow the doctors with the doctorate degrees, right? They know everything. So I'm thinking he's gonna be hitting on some stuff. I gotta really sit down and take my notes. Man, I got about 4 points that he did that, and I'm struggling to even mention those. Now here's another one. This dude is weak. Now all of this, his video was designed to undermine ethnogenesis as we frame it. Hold on. These are his best arguments, and they're just ad hominems and strawmen. I was thinking, like, what can he actually say against ethnogenesis? That's a real thing. Like, Google even tells you it's a real thing that we experience. Like, what can he say as a doctor? And you see nothing, just strawman attacks and ad hominems.
FBA is embarrassing. I am.
Okay, so FBA is embarrassing, family. You see this?
FBA is embarrassing. I am being honest. It is embarrassing.
Okay, so his argument against ethnogenesis is FBA is embarrassing. Again, that's a shaming tactic. That's a shaming tactic. Rather than a factual rebuttal, he relies on social pressure to make the listener feel intellectually inferior. He's trying to make us, he's playing psychological games with us. He's trying to make us feel intellectually inferior for wanting a specific ethnic designation. It's embarrassing. No real argument, shaming tactics. And this is the best I can find. And here's one last argument. This is terrible. It's about, then listen, if this is the best their PhDs can do against our delineation movement, they don't have a chance. This is their best brains. This is their best minds. No real arguments, no real rebuttals, just shaming tactics, poison the well, ad hominems, straw men, saying arguments we didn't say, making points I did not say.
Argument that FBA is another version of a black identity. That's what it is. It's not the umbrella. It's not the African American umbrella that actually includes all of those who come through the transatlantic experience. Their ancestry came through the transatlantic experience here in the United States of America, in this United States of America. I put FBA as a distinct subgroup identity. Distinct subgroup identity. Again, at best, with my calculations, with the rhetoric and the ideology, at best is a subgroup. At best, it would be a sub-ethnogenesis. And it's not even there yet, because it has not made it very clear on what differentiates them from African American. Again,
we haven't made it clear. Now, that might have been his first argument. Okay. Okay. So he says FBA at best is a subgroup and not an ethnogenesis because it hasn't distinguished itself enough from African American. Well, that's his best argument, and that's a circular reasoning argument. He defines ethnogenesis in a way that excludes FBA by default, right? And then he uses that exclusion to prove FBA isn't legitimate. That's a circular argument. He denies our ability to delineate because he has already decided that we belong to the African American umbrella that he prefers. That is called circular reasoning. He defines ethnogenesis in the way that it excludes us. Then he argues from that position to prove we're not legitimate. This is the best they can do. Okay, so he relies on gatekeeper strategy by framing the conversation through social science, right? So he says all the time, I got a degree in social science. He attempts to depoliticize our movement, right? Delineation, reparations, and turning a legal claim for reparations into a psychological or genetic misunderstanding, family. Universalize our identity, right? Insisting that blackness must remain a global umbrella, which prevents the harmed group, ADOS, FBA, from being counted separately, right? Then he argues that the name African American is historically made valid, but the name FBA is made up invalid, despite both being created through the same social processes. So when I was trying to get him over here to talk about this, the panel, okay, that's one regret I had sending that link out. Now they didn't know. Now to be fair, they didn't know that he was coming on. But man, I wish they'd have let me just handle this guy. Like once he called in, they should have let me just talk to him. They were, and I was going right there. I was going into African American. I was all inclusive. They see where I was going, and man, I don't know if it was egos, whatever, but they would not let me go. This is why I don't like to send a link out too much unless it's for the opposition. Because a lot of times, man, people just be in the way. I don't know if it's me. But the bottom line is that the panel never let me get them, never let me have them address this African American dual usage. I was trying to get there, and instead of them let me do that, they're talking over me with their own personal argument that just made him. And guess what? He felt so comfortable with them. He's like, yeah, let me talk to them. He didn't want to talk to me. Yeah, that should be a problem. That if all of us is on a panel and the guy in question wants to talk to you, like he's running from other questions to talk to you, that means he think you're the weaker of the bunch. He think your argument is beatable. It got holes in it. So that was a moment to say, all right, look, let me fall back and let unbiased get him. Nope. That didn't happen like that. So he may never come back. So that is one regret that that's why I don't like to send a link like that. People, my own chat panel be undermining what we're trying to do. We want to hold this dude accountable. All right, so I got some folks who want to explain their position on the diaspora wars. They're going to talk about things like this.
Couple of upcoming events that are happening in collaboration with the Disco Network, things that if you're at this particular event, you might be interested in as well. Happening on January 29th, mark your calendar, is Black Boys and the Future of Technology. Our co-PI, Rayvon Fouché, is in conversation with Jonathan Cooper, Kareem Edward, and John Passmore. And then we have happening on March 10th, Against Surveillance and so when they asked what kind of panel I wanted to do and what theme, I was, having the same conversations I noticed with students over and over. And also I was noticing that my feed has the same things that are happening probably on a lot of your Instagram or Threads or wherever you're spending your social media time happening over and over. And a lot of those conversations look the same as they did some years back. Some of them are about this idea of going 50-50. Who's seen this happen on their social media feeds? Yeah, okay. For those who aren't familiar with the titling of this, going 50-50 is about whether or not in heteronormative dating relationships, whether people should be splitting costs 50-50. And what does that mean about gender norms, roles, and expectations in romantic relationships?
I don't know what you're talking about, but let's get to what does this say right here?
Oh, go ahead. Do you think it's possible, though? That's what I was going to ask. Is it possible to have a profitable? Because I think that's really the...
All right. So this is a Tariq Nasheed troll right here.
Foundation.
Hold on.
You're born a foundation.
So he's trying to clout chase off Tariq Nasheed name because his content is boring.
Okay, hang on.
That combination.
Hold up. So, okay, so you say that the Foundation of Black Americans built America, and they are from a distinct group of people who were originally here, and then some, you said, that were brought over from somewhere else. Well, that somewhere else would be Africa. And see, this sounds like an Aboriginal argument.
So now, family, that's framing. That's framing. That's not an Aboriginal argument. First of all, there's different Aboriginal arguments. But again, this is also another framing straw man tactic. That sounds like no. He makes it very clear on his talking points. All right. So again, I addressed the website yesterday. He defines FBA. We just explained ethnogenesis earlier. Documentation, my guy. It's not Aboriginal. Aboriginals got to have documentation too. Everybody got to prove that they have a lineage that's tied to U.S. chattel slavery, not tied to the motherland, not tied to Aboriginal origins. Your documentation got to prove that your ancestors suffered U.S. chattel slavery. Okay, so he's trying to reframe our position as Aboriginal, and they all do this. They all do this.
It sounds like, in my personal view, this is why I say African Americans are going through an identity crisis. Because
also, family, there was a failed channel earlier that was like, I say failed channel, like 3-4 people listening. And I said, you know what, let me pick with them. This works on all the small, useless channels. I say, I troll in there. I say, I came in there with this channel. I came in with FBA News and Updates. I just said hello, and they see my name and they went in on me. Right, the host, he's talking all this black unity stuff. Right, everybody's black, booty scratches and all that. Everybody tethers, everybody black. I said hello. He seen my name and he changed his whole show towards me. And I said in the chat, I said, hey man, nah, everybody ain't black. And I said, we the only black people. He heard that, he went crazy. So he tried to go define like black. Oh my God, he embarrassed himself. He like read it. I'm gonna give him credit for being honest and reading the whole definition on his live, even though it cooked him. But he read it, and I started laughing in the chat. I said, "I told you, you cooked yourself." And he tried to make up excuses. I said, "Bro, we're black. Those people you said that's Kenyan. It's funny because he identified the Kenyans as Kenyans. I said, you see, you just called them what they are. You said Kenyans. You just call Jamaicans what they are. You just call the South Africans, whoever, what Igbo, what they are. We're black. We don't have another nickname. That's it. We don't go to Nigeria and become Igbo all of a sudden. We're Black American in Nigeria. We're Black American in Spain, Mexico, Brazil. We're Black American on Mars. We meet some aliens. Hey, I'm Black American. Okay, we're not gonna say we're a Black Mars alien.
Because it's as if you don't know who you are. Okay, and when you don't know who you are, you
Okay, so now that's circular reason, family. He frames that our position is we don't know who we are. We have identity crisis. That's the least thing. That's the least worries of ours. We do not have an identity problem. We're FBA. We identified ourselves, so we don't have an identity problem. We're all agreeing on these terms. ADOS, FBS, no, and covers the same lineage. It's not an identity problem. But he frames it to we have identity problem, and then we don't know who we are. We're lost. This is why they never really accepts black. All he doing, family, is telling you how he defines black. I told you how immigrants define black. The reason why they won't accept it, and they only accept it when benefits are tied, or they need protection, like Somalis. They define black is what he just said. They define black people who are going through an identity crisis, who don't know who they are. They're lost. They're cultureless, right? They're kissing the white man ass. That's how they define black. That's why that's why in their countries, I ain't black. Okay, so everything he's saying is how they see what blackness is. This is their projection.
tend to cling on to things that are not of you. So if you do your DNA, like I said before in my previous video,
Family, why do they all do DNA? Yeah, the other Dr. Ruxpin just said DNA, DNA, DNA. Yeah, yeah, they really think we are who we are because of DNA. Okay, if Haitians do a DNA test, wouldn't their DNA go back to Africa? But yet they are allowed to be called Haitian, and nobody says a word. Only with us, family, they said you got to do a DNA test, and if 1% of your DNA goes to Africa, you're African. Now, again, 1% of our DNA tests go to Africa. Everybody, the Igbo tribe is around the corner from the Fulani tribe. But the Igbo tribe, they ain't called the African tribe. They're called the Igbo tribe. Okay, if they do a DNA test, it's going to say more than 1% African. How come he don't say Igbos? You're not Igbo. You're African. Fulani, you're not Fulani. You're African. Hausa, stop all this division. You're delineating to your own demise. You're not Fulani. You're not Igbo. You're not Hausa. You're all African. Stop this madness. No. Only with us. We got to do a DNA test, and the DNA test is supposed to tell us something. No, 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 sir. Ethnogenesis is not bound by a DNA test, my guy. Ethnogenesis is also bound by documentation and genealogy. All right. So when they come over here, this is why they get cooked. They make up fake rules for us that they don't apply to nobody else. And you could pop your collar while you by yourself, but when that link is sent out, matter of fact, I'm gonna send a link out just for those who disagree. Okay. Just for those who disagree. And then I'm gonna get the trolls. Guys with no solid argument. Hold on. All right. So that link is for people who disagree, not for people who agree. All right.
What does it come up as? Does it come up as that you're what, Cherokee Indian? Does it come up as you're, I don't know, Navajo? What does it come up as? I'm sure your DNA will come up as a large percent of African. So
there's no such thing as a large percent of African. My DNA don't say large percent African. It gives you small percentage of different African tribes. Okay, but I would love to hear his conclusion. Tether, what's up?
Hello?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So I'm a tether.
Why you a Tether?
I'm a tether because FBAs are really like complaining about nothing.
Say that again?
I'm a terrorist, or I'm a tether because FBA is complaining about nothing.
Wait, but how's that make, okay, if our complaints is sad and useless, how does that make you a Tether? And we're complaining about something that's a personal problem. That don't make you something because we're complaining about something that got nothing to do with you. So how's you tethered by?
You're making me like some enemy when
Wait, hold
I'm
on.
not. I'm
Wait,
just
but
minding my business.
Wait, but if I'm complaining,
That's the only reason I'm like.
wait, hold
worried.
on.
You know what I mean?
Wait, don't make no sense. If I'm complaining about something else that has nothing to do with you, that don't make you a Tether because I'm complaining about something else.
No, what I'm saying is you're complaining about tethers when
No, I'm
tethers
not.
aren't real.
No, Tethers are, wait, oh, okay. So are white supremacists real?
No, we're under Jewish occupancy. We're not under white
Oh,
supremacy.
I have no idea what that means, but let me say this. Do people or what about robbers? Are robbers real?
Yes, robbers are real.
Right. And a robber, that's an action word, right? That's like an action now?
Yes.
Right. So a Tether and whoever you want to call, Jewish, I mean, you're just giving labels. I'm going to say white supremacy. You say Jewish, whatever. The bottom line is that there's a white looking guy causing harm on certain people. That's an action. So now I don't believe every white person is a white supremacist. I don't believe every Jewish person is in that conspiracy you're talking about. I think there's people involved and people not involved. But I'm not going to group up a whole populace over just because a few handful of people or thousands are involved. I'm going to separate the ones who are the violators from the innocent.
All FBAs are Jewish supremacy weapons. You've been a weapon since civil rights. MLK was a pretty much imaginary figure.
But he wasn't real?
No, you built him up.
I'm about to have fun with you.
He was nobody
Okay.
until the Jews built him up.
All right. So what about Jesse Jackson?
He's also a part of the Khazarian Empire.
All right. So you agree?
The Khazarians are Europeans who converted
Wait, so before we
hold on a second.
I'm familiar. No, I'm familiar about Khazar, bro. I used to be an Israelite. That's the talking point. So I'm familiar with all that. All right, now watch this. So yeah, so you're preaching to the choir.
Right.
But okay, so you said Martin Luther King was drummed up by this elitist group, right? And you agree that Jesse Jackson was
Rosa
as well.
Parks, Jesse Jackson.
Wait, hold on. But I want to focus just on the ones I'm naming. You name Martin Luther King. I named Jesse. Right, but we're naming just. I don't want to deal with all of them. That's gonna be chaotic conversation. So I'm talking about Jesse Jackson.
What I'm saying.
But I'm trying to pinpoint. I got you. But I'm trying to pinpoint certain individuals of that Jewish mafia, right? So okay. Jesse Jackson, his name is on the list too, right?
Puppet, yeah.
Right. So when he introduced African American, wasn't that part of the Jewish mafia conspiracy to call us African American?
Yes.
Right. Yeah. So we agree. We agree that African American.
I just joined, so like, I don't know if I disagree with you, but I'm just saying that the Khazarians built up the FBA to kill the white race.
Well, you can't build up FBA. FBA is not a singular individual. But let me ask you this though. Let me ask you this, because right now you're just
to make my position clear, right? FBAs were brought in this country to eliminate the white race,
Brought this
and
country how?
still
Wait.
using
Hold on,
against
bro.
the white race.
Hey, bro, but you're not clearing it up. You're adding more confusion. You said they were brought to here. Brought to here. What year? What year are we speaking about?
What the year I know is when they took over was when they sunk the Titanic.
So Black Americans were brought over here. What was that? 1950, 40? The Titanic. What year was that?
No, Black Americans were brought over in the 1800s and before that. But when a Jewish
Wait.
Khazarian,
Hold on. I'm trying to get how we got to the country. What year did we come to this country called America?
well, Columbus was Jewish, right?
I don't care. I'm asking about us. How did we get? What year did we get here?
I'm just saying, you guys are a weapon of Khazarians. It doesn't matter when you got here. It doesn't matter.
Let me mute them. Family, these guys' conspiracy theories are not even in order. Dude, listen, do me a favor, man. When you come back to this channel, get your story right first. You have this whole conspiracy theory, and you talk about we were here to replace white people. I'm asking you, when did we get here? You said 1800s. I was going to say, okay. I was going to ask you about that. Then
So
you said
you mute me because of the question.
you won't answer the question. You're adding confusion when you say you're going to clear it up. I'm asking you, who brought us to this country? Let's start with that. Who brought us to this country?
I'm just to clarify my stance.
No, you're not clarifying. You're adding more confusion. I'm asking you directly, who brought us to this country? Clarify that.
The Khazarians or Scythians?
Right. And what year was that?
Well, well, we're talking about when. What you laughing at?
Where's the clarification? What year were we brought over here?
What year you brought?
What year did the Khazarians bring us over here?
Whether they brought you over here this century or last century is
Wait,
irrelevant.
now that matters. No, it does, because you're clearing. Hey, bro, listen. You're adding confusion. I muted him again because he's adding confusion. I'm not going to allow you to confuse us, man. It's going to be too much to unpack. I'd rather, once you say something confusing, I'm going to ask you about that in real time, clear that up, and we go further. So I'm asking you, what year did these folks bring us over here? God damn, get your conspiracy origin story correct. Unmute. If you don't know, just say you don't know. Damn. You got to unmute, man. Okay.
Yeah,
Do you know the year or not?
I'm not a historian. I don't know exactly
Okay,
year.
so just say you don't know the year. We'll move on. But I can't let you not answer that, and we just talk in circles. Do you know the year or not?
How does that? How is that relevant to?
Hey, my guy, do you know the year? If you don't know, say you don't know. But I'm not let you go. You're not gonna go further without answering.
I don't know the exact year.
I got it.
Damn.
Okay, cool. Because you said you don't know. There's nothing else to talk about right there. Let's leave that alone. I'll mute him again. How you gonna say you don't know and then start talking about what you don't know? So let's leave that alone. So okay, that question goes unanswered. No problem. I got another question for you. Then you could kick your knowledge.
Khazarian mafia took over, and I can't answer.
No, I got a question for you. You called it over here, my guy. So they brought us here from where? The Khazarians brought us here from where?
Again, where's the relevance and where you began?
Okay. All right, man. Look, if you can't answer that question, I gotta kick you off. Where did they bring us from?
The FBAs?
Yeah.
Well, which century?
Any century. How did we original? We got here at one point, right? The earliest time they brought us over here. They brought us here from where?
They brought you from Africa.
Okay. Did the Africans sell us, or did they come and kidnap us?
It was a mixture of both.
Who kidnapped us?
The one major one was the British company that went actually into West Africa and ventured into West Africa and explored and captured their own slaves. It was a British company
Okay, so are you telling me at that? So that's why the year matters, because if it's the 18, if it's like late 1800s, you might be right. Maybe if it's earlier than that, you're a bold-faced liar. So I need to, that's why I'm asking you, what time frame did this happen? If you say anything earlier than 1880, you're
I'm
lying.
going earlier than 1800s.
Okay, then you're lying. Africa was strong. Their armies and white people were not, Europeans were not strong at that time, and they could not go inland Africa. They were being defeated and they were dying from diseases, African diseases. So no, they were
I
very
agree with that.
unsuccessful. Right,
I
right. So
agree
you
with
just
that.
lied though. You said one major event where the British went over there and started kidnapping people. You're lying. Africa is documented. West African are documented. Ghana in particular, Queen Nzinga, the Homie tribe, Benin, the Coastal, all that stuff are documented to kidnap us, not Britons, not nobody from Britain.
I agree with
Okay,
all of
and
what
it
you said.
was, and you lied again because it was the Portuguese and the Dutch who went in there in the 1400s and tried and was very unsuccessful. They got beat up by Africans when they tried to go in there and kidnap. So, dude, what I need you to do is
I
this.
agree with everything.
Yeah, right, right. That's the problem, though. You can't agree and your conspiracy theory be still accurate. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna continue what I'm doing. All right. You can call in tomorrow. I kick them off, and you can bring your conspiracy theory back when I feel like laughing. But right now, we got a serious show right now. So let's get back on this guy right here. He said he's a tether. I say, why are you a tether? Oh, you guys be complaining. Okay, but we're complaining. Why does that make you a tether? What that got to do with you? He never explained how he's a tether. Oh, see, white supremacy, no such thing. I believe in Jewish conspiracy. Okay. Do they look white? Like, did they change their shade? Okay. So yeah, so even that, if somebody, listen, family, if somebody does something good or bad, they have to be identified, especially when it's exceptionally good or bad. They got to be identified from the rest of the average people or average society. That's why we call people heroes. We give awards, or money rewards people with the most successful business, you dig? Whatever, like you're rewarded, society rewards you, or there's other ways to like reward you or identify you as separate from the average layman, laywoman. So if you do a bad act in society, you're gonna be labeled a robber, thief, murderer, drug dealer. You'll be labeled criminal. Okay, so that's my whole point. So if you are doing something to us, because us complaining ain't doing nothing to you, it ain't you doing nothing else. That don't make you a tether. But if you're doing something to us, yeah, that a label is going to be there. That's called a societal definition. We identify you in real life. Okay. Anyway, that trolling didn't go nowhere. Nah, he's definitely crazy. Raj said, brother, it's a thin line between conspiracy theorists and being cray cray. Now he was definitely cray cray. I had a little fun with him. I'm a content creator, so that's why I give him a chance to be retarded, and I'm gonna clip that, and that's gonna be, an upload by itself. I give them a chance to make a fool of themselves. Let's get back to this tether.
The fact that you are now claiming more original status than you are African status.
Hey family, he's reading something, by the way. This ain't even like genuine. It's not something like he really believes. He's reading something he put together, like a teleprompt on his laptop. Okay. But somehow he said we take a DNA test. He said most of it's going to come from Africa. So therefore we're African. No, that's not how ethnonyms are created, my guy. That's why the Haitians didn't say, you know what? We kicked the French out. We're Africans. Ibram Touré called himself and his peoples Burkinabés. They don't say they're African. Matter of fact, nobody in this world call themselves African as their major primary ethnonym. So when they call up, they sound like the cray cray guy. I want Dr. Ruxpin to call in because I already see that he's going to be really wordy, like really talkative. When he called in last time, he was really, really like over talkative. He won't like share the mic. So I already sensed that from him, a sense of entitlement. But Dr. Ruxpin, I think you know you're full of shit, and that's why you won't call in. You have talked to everybody under the sun, and a guy with a strong voice who's like respected with research, um, and just experience, been around a long time to avoid me, that tells me a lot.
It's just interesting to me. Let's carry on.
Now, family, this video got this tether 37,000 views 400 years ago. 37,000 views 4 years ago, right? Other than that video, he's like, and by the way, he has 111,000 subscribers. I got 4,000. We pretty much do the same numbers. I got 4,000 subscribers. He has 111,000, and we pretty much do the same numbers. Like, I'm not far from him, thanks to the lineage, of course. But this video is 37,000 because he's talking about us. That's the point. They all know that. All of our trolls and critics, they know, put the FBA name in the title and keep talking about FBA. They know any other title, the views drop off tremendously. Look at those scientific groups. Now that FBA is no longer in their title, look at their views. But when they got FBA in their title, double, triple. And I ain't mad. I'm just pointing out the obvious. Like these guys can't. They believe they can grow. They could do their own thing, but they don't believe they can without FBA in their title or Tariq Nasheed.
And the activities that we had to endure makes us foundational lineage. Try to
Documentary series, Hidden Colors, Black.
Two lines rejected. We're hearing concern to disdain for the.
Okay, so what he's doing is, so apparently like 4 years ago, Tariq Nasheed must have seen a post of his and reacted and cooked him, right? So now he's reacting, trying to cook Tariq Nasheed, and I'm skipping past that because if you were around 4 years ago, you pretty much already seen Tariq Nasheed cook him. So, but this is his rebuttal.
This word coon is thrown around a lot, all right? I'm trying to understand, okay, by whose yardstick is someone a coon?
Right, good. Won't you ask Malcolm X? Ask Malcolm X when he said coon to Uncle Tom, by whose yardstick was that? It's called intuition. It's called the glow. I call it the glow. Tariq called it the Majora spirit, and other folks call it Solon or whatever else. But we're on code. Some things go without saying. Things that's understood don't need to be explained. Only a tether would ask about a measuring stick. When we call somebody a coon, those of us from the lineage, Black Americans, Foundation Black Americans, those from the lineage, when we say coon, when we say tether, we don't got to explain that. That's understood within the lineage. Okay? When we say white supremacists or suspected white supremacists or suspected tether, that goes without saying. We ain't got to explain that. When our elders in the community that was related to us, and not no fake elder, some old fool, we're talking about relatives like an aunt or a grandmother. When they said respect your elders, nobody ever defined that. Not to my recollection. That went without saying. It's already understood without anybody going into details what an elder is. When they told us at a young age, 7, 10, 11, 12, hey, you better respect your elders now. We knew exactly what that meant. We knew when our aunt, our mom, dad, our mom friend, our grandmother friend was talking to us in a serious conversation or giving us advice, you shut your mouth. You take the advice, whether you agree with it or not, you shut up and you listen. We knew that was part of the definition of respecting your elders. All right. So that's called I call it the lineage glow, the FBA glow. Okay. Okay. That's something we just know. We don't got to explain that. But when you ask how do we see it for an explanation, we know that, bro, no sir, you're not the lineage and it's not for you.
Because by shared experience before.
And family, as he talks, he keep displaying. I'm not going to show the video because I don't want nobody even giving this guy another view. But as he's talking, he's displaying his Cash App, Zelle, everything across the screen. This is a money grab. But they would say, "Oh, you FBAs, it's money, money, money." All these guys use our name for money grabs.
But I'm just wondering what the yardstick for a coon is. For you, because you think I'm Nigerian, now I'm from a lying and scamming culture. Joke.
No, Nigeria is literally the scam culture of the world. That is not no shade. That is not no bashing. Nigeria has become the scamming country of the world. So many countries and companies don't deal with Nigeria or somebody working for Nigeria at all. That is not, so again, when we tell the truth about them, they get offended, but they tell lies about us. That's a fact. Nigeria is known as the scamming country of the world. It is culture over there to scam. Yo, listen, family, culture means that it's not looked down upon. They don't shame other Nigerians who are caught for scamming or admit they scam over there. When they're on their computer scamming Americans online, that's not seen as a shaming thing like it is over here in our culture. You can't say, "Yeah, I'm a scammer." And we be like, "Word, yo, what's up, man? Hang out." Now we like, "Scammer." Like the first thing we gonna think is he trying to scam me. Can't trust you. Oh yeah, I sell drugs, man. Let's go hang out. Man, hell to the no. What the hell?
So new Tariq, I'm not Nigerian. I'm not from a lying and scamming culture. So, if you want to talk about projection, you might want to look in the mirror there, my friend.
Wait, hold it. But you didn't say where you were from, though. We don't know that. And shit, that country might be just as bad. Let me try to see if I can find where he's from. Hold on. Let me see if I can find where he's from. Okay, so he got 8 years ago, he got a video saying like Libyan slaves and waiting for God. Let me play that one. Let me see if he's Liberian. No, Libyan. Hold on. Let me see what else he got before I play that one. Let's see. So he has a video 7 years ago. Who should I debate? Who wants to get humiliated by him? Bro, I did write him, by the way, and invited him over here. Ain't no damn debater. I know he's meeting a lot of white people, so he validates white people a lot. Okay, so I don't really see him. Talking about his homeland at all so far. Yeah, so wherever he's from, he's not proud of it. Okay, so I do know that he's in the UK. Okay, so he might. Okay, so a lot of these guys that be in the UK, a lot of them do come from Nigeria. But I know because he's on the speaker's corner where they debate at. So, and you can tell by his accent. So we know for sure he's a tether in Britain. right? Okay, so he don't have no videos so far explaining where he's from. All right. I clicked a few videos. Maybe he says it in these videos, but yep. Okay. So yeah, he don't have anything obvious where he's from. So yeah, so London. Yep. I was UK. Yeah. So I'm not Nigerian. The joke's on you, my guy. You ain't too far from Nigeria, my guy. Let me see. Oh my God. Yeah, yo, he doesn't list his country at all. Let me try to find this guy on Instagram. Hold on. You know, Instagram, that's when they be throwing those flags up. All right, so while I look for his Instagram, let me play a video of
Peace,
his.
family. Peace. I'd just like to first say I'm back. I'd like to secondly thank all the family who were supportive of my trip to New York. And I'd like to thirdly thank Art Speaks for allowing me to come over and speak at their art event. The event was a success. The documentary that myself and Adoink Vision shot was definitely well received. The question and answers went very well, and all round it was a good trip to NYC. I'd definitely go back. I think they want me back.
They who?
So, talking about the Arab Muslim enslavement of black people and how they used to be castrated, which was a definite tactic of the...
Oh my God.
What is black power? Now, in recent years, people have thought black power was throwing up your fist and, you know, grabbing a gun and disrespecting every white person you saw while telling them, don't fuck with me, I'll shoot you. Black power.
How? Wait, what? Family, this is definitely a tether. Oh, black power was attacking white. Yeah, this is that Turning Point USA talking point, family. This is that Nicki Minaj. This guy is a fake tether conservative. I can tell already.
That is what black power has kind of been reduced to. But as I think about it, I think black power is leverage. And in this, if we look at the world stage, we understand that different countries, you know, they occupy, you know, higher places.
Family, a tether from another country, from Africa, all places, is going to explain to us, the originators of black power, what black power is. This is entitlement and this is delusion.
On the social economic ladder than other countries. And yeah, I just think if black people don't gain leverage, they won't understand what
I got his flag. Oh, I think it's from Ghana.
What is leverage? Leverage is the reason why
Senegal.
In America,
yeah. Oh, he's Senegalese.
You can have a war on terror. Okay? In America, you can have a war on terror. Now, war on terror was a war on Islamic terrorism. Now, during this war on terror,
I got him, family.
He's from Senegal. Let's say in America's history, unarmed black men were still shot more.
Man, shut up. All right, this is off his Facebook right here. Okay. Look, this is his Facebook post. Senegal, the champions of Africa, Senegal. And somebody said that's the equivalent of being the best in a circus. So somebody was clowning him when he was promoting Senegal. All right, so he's Senegalese. Man, will you stop it? Scamming ass country. Man, knock it off. All right, let's get back to this stupid talking points.
Because that's a damn lie you just told with a straight face.
New York.
Okay, Caribbeans, this was a trolling and on, and I lit it.
Why? I'm not respecting. That speaks to my point. Everyone's a coon to someone, right? So I don't know whose yardstick. I don't even know what yardstick the guy on there is talking about by calling you a coon. So everyone's a coon to someone, it seems.
Fucking family that had them.
That is definitely how a tether will embrace and see it. Definitely.
Right. Little history lesson. Yes, Marcus Garvey.
They're gonna teach us history. Oh, he's Marcus Garvey.
We did. Right. Little history lesson. Yes, Marcus Garvey did go to America. Just Marcus Garvey got shit popping, let's say. Millions and millions of followers of the UNIA.
That's a lie. That's a lie. They're gonna teach us history. Oh, he's Marcus Garvey.
We did. Right. Little history lesson. Yes, Marcus.
That's a lie. Millions of followers, dude. Stop it.
Millions and millions of black people that, though, said that they prefer to go back to Africa than live in the Caribbean or in the Americas.
No, millions. No. Because ain't nobody go back to Africa. The actions speak louder than words. He came with a fake solution. Okay? He came with a scam. He was scamming and lying, telling people, hey, invest in these stock certificates of the BSL line, the BS line, the bullcrap line, and your stock will grow, right? You'll be awarded dividends. You'll be rich in Africa or America. Either way, this company is growing and it's profiting. It's profitable. He was lying about. No. No millions of black folks want to go to Africa. I mean, but again, that's circular reasoning, where he lie and say he had millions of followers, and then say those millions of followers wanted to go to Africa. Man, family, only 3 people from that cult went to Liberia, and it wasn't Garvey was not one of them. They went to Monrovia, okay, and they were deported back, and they with a message. Don't y'all come back here, and tell your leader he better not think about coming to Liberia. Your leader better not think about coming to Nigeria.
So yeah, you're telling him to respect foundational black Americans. Maybe you should respect Jamaicans, because if you want another history lesson without Marcus Garvey.
Yeah, without Marcus Garvey, because you was going nowhere with that one. What makes you believe we don't respect Jamaicans? See, a tether wants to tie himself into the country, to use the country as a shield. Well, if you attack me, then you're attacking my homeland. No, we're attacking you. You're the tether, not your homeland. That's a deflecting tactic they use.
There would be no Martin Luther King. There would be no Malcolm X. There would be no Farrakhan. Marcus Garvey is
Wait. What you heard this fool? This dude said if it wasn't a Marcus Garvey, there'll be no Dr. Yo, this dude is this dude out of his family? Is this delusion, conspiracy theory, or cray-cray?
Blueprint for all of them. There will be no Malcolm X. There would be no Garvey. Respect Jamaicans, because if you want another history lesson without Marcus Garvey, there would be no Martin Luther King.
All right, first of all, what they got to do with Jamaica? Jamaica rejected Marcus Garvey. So let's say what he's saying is true. That's not Jamaica. That's, again, black Americans in America. Jamaica said hell no to that. No, they said, nah, we don't claim that. And okay, some more just false, fake news. Marcus Garvey was not the progenitor or the father of Malcolm X and Dr. King. This dude is a filthy. Now he's a tether. He's a musty, dusty tether. A. Philip Randolph was around during Marcus Garvey. A. Philip Randolph launched the Marcus Garvey Must Go campaign. Why am I saying A. Philip Randolph? Because A. Philip Randolph, he actually spoke at Washington during the March to Washington. A. Philip Randolph was Dr. Martin Luther King's mentor. It was A. Philip Randolph's original idea to march on Washington. He passed it to Dr. King because as he's getting older, Dr. King was younger and had that fight in him. He didn't hate. He said, all right, look, you got the glow. Look, we should do this. He mentored him and Dr. King accepted and other activists accepted it. And this is why A. Philip Randolph got to speak at the March at Washington. A. Philip Randolph is listed as the father of the civil rights movement. He was way back. His activism go way, way back. Okay. Labor laws, union, all that type of stuff. Okay. So this is a gross lie.
There will be no Malcolm X. There would be no Farrakhan. Marcus Garvey is the blueprint for all of them. Without Marcus Garvey, you wouldn't have the rest of your so-called leaders. Also, you wouldn't even have hip hop music. Here's another.
Oh shit! Not the hip hop. He said hip hop music. Oh god, this is disgusting. Listen to. We wouldn't have hip hop music. Okay, since he's saying that, right now, I wasn't going. This was not on my plan at all. This was not planned. Okay, hold on. I was not going to do this. I was going to leave it alone. But since he said it, hold on. Now, I watched this yesterday. I was having fun laughing, but I was not going to play it today. But since he said it and lied, I'm going to play it. Okay, I'm going to make sure I don't play the audio. I don't want to get flagged. Okay. Family, this was not on the schedule. Hold on. You know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm going to stay on course. Let's listen to this lie. Without Jamaicans, there would be no hip hop. Oh my God.
History lesson. Marcus Garvey, you wouldn't have the rest of your so-called leaders. Also, you wouldn't even have hip hop music. Here's another history lesson. The godfather of hip hop is DJ Kool Herc, another Jamaican who brought the sound system from Jamaica over to New York and created hip hop music. So maybe you should start respecting Jamaicans a little bit more, Tariq.
Yeah, this guy just made up some stuff. Marcus Garvey, hip hop. I'm not even going to respond to that because he's gaslighting. He knows he's lying.
And we've told you over and over again.
With Africa on it.
To get up under white mommy and zaddy.
Nigerian bedwenches and coons while wearing a t-shirt with Africa on it.
Okay, see, family? They think we can't criticize them. Now look at the hypocrisy. Listen to this. They say if we criticize an African, right? If we criticize a Jamaican, a Brazilian, then we can't go to their countries. They criticize us, Black Americans, and guess where they are? They're in America. So we're going to live by that standard. Can you leave, please? You're criticizing us and you're in our homeland. Can you leave, please? Going by that logic, you should be leaving the country.
Okay. We can easily put this argument to bed as to who you are.
Okay. Some of the genetics.
What are you talking about, Tariq? You talking about genetics or lineage? Which one you talk now?
Okay. Now this. Oh, where's my cord? My laptop died. Hold on. Oh shit. Dumb shit. Okay. Yeah, I'm like the most clumsiest mother on earth. I'm trying to tell you. I am the most clumsiest, clumsy mother on earth.
We're not talking about lineage and genetics, or are we? What you talking about, man?
Have African DNA because everybody on the fucking planet comes from Africa. I'm out here in the middle of damn nowhere. I'm by the Indian Ocean. Some of their DNA is gonna go back. If you do a DNA test on damn near everybody on the planet, some of their DNA is gonna go back to goddamn Africa.
Correct.
Okay, so now
we ain't talking about DNA and genetics. Genetically, yes, we have African DNA.
You don't talk about genetics, but you're talking about lineage. What are you talking about, Tariq? You talking about genetics or lineage? Which one you talk now?
Okay.
Now we're not talking about lineage and genetics.
Okay, so family, you see this guy, this Dusty Tether. So he mentioned genetics because the other guy said we are African through genetics. So Tariq Nasheed was responding to he was counter arguing. He said, okay, if everybody's going to rely on genetics, then everybody's African. He didn't bring up genetics to authenticate our ethnogenesis. Okay, he was responding to the other guy. Again, like you see, straw man arguments. We always talk about genealogy. We talk about lineage, my guy. We don't talk about genetics. That's not our talking points. That's y'all talking points. He was addressing the Tether talking point about African genetics. So he tried to spin it like Tariq Nasheed was confused and was speaking about genetics, and nah.
Or are we? What you talking about, man?
And this guy's supposed to be a debater. Yeah, I will rip this dude to shreds.
Have African. We were to test in the
people. If you are culturally different, okay, to other people, if you are, because you said lineage, and so if you're talking about culture, I totally understand, because the culture of black people in America is different to other black peoples around the world. So I get that, but when you say
there's no other black people around the world, okay, you're lying. There's African people around the world. Okay, now he got to make up his mind. He just said earlier, if we do a DNA test, our genetics will go to Africa. He didn't say our genetics will go to black. He said our genetics will go to Africa. That's what he said. So now he's trying to use black and African interchangeably. Not going to happen on my clock. They're not interchangeable terms, my guy. Black is more of a cultural thing, a definition of an ethnogenesis, and genetics is something totally different. African is about genetics or homeland. It's more than genetics. It's about a homeland you live on. All right. We don't have any culture. All that stuff goes into Africa. Genetics, culture, all that stuff. And we don't fit that bill.
Black people in America is different to other black peoples around the world. So I get that.
There's no other black people around the world, my guy. It's just in America. Unless there's only black people around the world if we travel. If we travel to other countries, yes, you will have other black people around the world.
But when you said lineage, it's a different thing.
If you test their DNA, it's going to go back to Africa. These people are jet black over here wearing different color. Everybody.
Okay. So we want to leech, or people want to leech off the accomplishments of foundational black Americans.
Yes, because you're doing it right now. You're calling Africans black. You're literally leeching off our accomplishments by calling Africans black. You're calling them something they don't call themselves. They call themselves African. And they call themselves what you call yourself. You call yourselves from Senegal, whatever, and the next person Nigerian, Senegalese. You call yourself a Senegalese person. That's what you call yourself. You're not magically black. you call yourself black to tie your to leech off what we got going on. Okay, and I hope this ain't the same guy with the conspiracy theory. We got another caller on. Hopefully it's a good, better conversation than the whole conspiracy theory thing. Hello, hello, hello.
Yo, yo, yo.
What's up, man? Your mic a little stale, but I can hear you a little bit.
Hold on, hold on.
Yeah, what's going on?
What about now? Same?
It's a little better. I can hear you. It just ain't as loud as mine, but I can hear you.
What's the topic? What's going on? What's going on? I just joined up.
You didn't see so you just clicked the video. Wait, so you had to get the link from the video, right?
Yeah. No, I clicked it, and then usually sometimes I see you on live, and I just kind of come in and start laughing. You're usually talking about the difference between Black people and Africa,
Yeah, so that's the
stuff like
topic.
that. Okay,
Yes, that's the topic.
okay.
Like, so for example, where are you from? What country?
I'm from Senegal.
Oh, like this guy. All right, so good. You're okay. So your ethnonym name is Senegalese, right?
You said my name is Senegalese?
Okay. Do you know what an ethnonym is?
No. What? Explain that for me, please.
Okay, so ethnonym is what people call themselves. It's the name of their country. It's what they call themselves when they go around the world. Like, so you'll be Senegalese, right?
Yeah. That's fine.
Right. So when you go to Australia, aren't you still Senegalese or are you Australian?
Senegalese.
Right. So pretty much everywhere you go on this planet, you're Senegalese. Even in Mars, even outside the planet, you are Senegalese, right? Yes, no.
Me, you know,
Are you an alien? Could you? Okay, so if you.
No, I'm
Go ahead.
saying yeah, of course. But I'm saying
Okay.
like other people might view me different. I might have a
Nah.
name for me, a term for me, but I'm gonna
Okay.
I'm gonna introduce myself as Senegalese. Yes.
Wait, hold on. If they have a term for you, that's called an exonym. You know what an exonym is?
I guess that's what it is, right? You said it. It's a
Exo out name, right? So, but that's not who you are. Like they could
Yeah,
call me
yeah,
a gorilla. Okay, cool. So that doesn't matter what somebody calls you. What matters is what you call yourself. And you call yourself Senegalese. So no matter where you go on this planet or outside the planet, you're Senegalese. No matter where I go on this planet, I'm Black. That's my ethnonym. That's our ethnonym in America. We're Black.
You're not gonna say you're American if you go to Australia?
No, America is my nationality. I'm Black.
So you would consider yourself a Black American, correct?
Yeah, but Black's my ethnonym. America's my nationality. So now, because I have citizenship here. So now, if you was to get citizenship over here, you would be a Senegalese American, right?
The government might just classify me as a naturalized citizen.
No, I'm saying you'll be Senegalese in America, right?
Yeah. I guess you could say
Right.
that. Yeah.
Right. You got Italian Americans, Jewish Americans. You'll be a Senegalese American. Okay, so that's easy. I just explained that really clear. The only Black people are those in America, and the only Senegalese people are those in Senegal.
Well, I hear what you're saying, but you got to understand, like, what people within the country are not going to just go around saying I'm Senegalese. They're going to identify with their tribe once they're in the country. Outside the country,
so
they will
what
say
tribe would that be? Give me a tribe scenario like that.
Manjako,
Okay.
Mandinka,
Okay, cool.
Wolof. So
Okay, we accept that too.
Yeah,
We
I'm saying
accept-
like you know what I'm saying though. I'm saying like the Senegal term is just like the legal term that we would use outside because we're outside the country. You know,
Right.
Well, hey, that's the country that I just came from. You would do the
Right.
same if you left Australia. You'd be like, oh, I just came from America. That's my origin. That's where I was born. That's where I was raised.
Okay,
you are
so
American.
what you're saying when people travel, they normally use their demonym.
If that's what it means to name a country that your birthplace, then yeah.
Yeah. If I say I'm American in America, outside of America, that's called a demonym. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, cool. But I'm sure at some point when they hear me talk, they're gonna identify me as a Black man from America.
Because of the accent, yeah.
Yeah, you're right. Had the look, everything that we'll bring. Okay, so
I wouldn't say the look, but yeah, they'll most likely they'll say yeah, because your accent, you speak pretty good
Wait,
English. They'll be
so
like, okay, you're
what is the average? So people in Senegal, are they light? Are they dark? The average, like the majority of them, are they dark, light, brown? What's the
well, I would say you said on average, I would say dark skin.
Right. So if I go to outside the country, they're not gonna look at me as an African because I'm not. Most Black Americans, they're like,
They won't look at you as a Senegalese. You can say that, but you cannot say, for
they're not gonna look
example,
at me from anybody. Okay.
hold on. If you're gonna say like they're not gonna identify you as a Senegalese right away, I would say yeah, that's 100% true. But they're not gonna go ahead and say, oh, this guy looks like he's from Congo or he looks like he's from. They're not gonna know that because
Look, what I'm saying, no. Listen, what I'm saying. I have not been out the country, but I got friends who have been out the country that's from America, because a lot of Americans, they play ball overseas. And when they go overseas, they look like a standard American. Again, we're not very dark. We're not very light. We're like a Denzel Washington type of look. That look is consistent in Black America. So my point is, in Senegal and most of Africa, y'all look is normally dark. Even in Haiti and Jamaica. Black Americans, when we go abroad, our look is not normally dark. Our look is like a brown, like it's in the middle. So when we go abroad, this is how Africans know that this is how, hold on, I gotta finish the thought. This is how Africans know we're not from Africa at all. They see us as a tourist or a visitor. Like they know right away, hey, you're definitely not from this continent.
It's definitely not true, but okay.
Okay, cool. But anyway, let's just move on, okay? Because I'm not saying it as an absolute truth. I'm saying like some folks might see it that way, some folks might see it your way. But bottom line is that I explain my stance on Black.
Okay. Well, let me just clarify. Like I'm not saying that to like say like all Black people in America look a certain type of way. I don't know if you travel throughout America. I've been to like maybe all 50 states, and I definitely could tell certain Black people who are mixed, certain Black people from the South, certain Black people from the Carolinas, certain Black people from Chicago.
So cool.
Just because I've been traveling a lot,
I'm gonna show my picture. I'm gonna show my picture. You let me know if I'm mixed. Okay, and you said that, right?
Yeah.
All right, cool. Let me show my picture, my Facebook picture. You tell me if I'm mixed. Let's test that theory.
Well, then again, like, how would I verify? Would you tell me like, if let's just say for conversation's sake, I'm like,
oh boy, you backtracking.
Hold on. No, I'm not backing. You can show the picture. I'm watching the screen, but I'm just saying like, well, why would you lie? Why would you not lie to me? Like, what would keep you from lying to me if you were or you weren't? Like,
I have a genealogy, right?
Okay.
I have a mother. I have a grandparent. Okay,
I know. Of course, you're alive.
So I have a father.
I'm
saying
what would keep you from lying to me right now over the internet? You know,
because I have a picture of my father and mother. And
Cool.
you can see who's mixed and who's not. Okay, so when you say mixed, how do you define mixed?
For example, I spent a lot of time in New York. I spent a lot of time in California, and the Black people in California who are usually have admixture from people near them, like Mexicans, and also.
But I'm asking, how are you defining as mixed? Are you saying like biracial? Are you defining mixed as biracial, or how are you defining mixed? Okay, bro, that's the average Black American. All of us are multiracial. All of us have an admixture of African, European, American.
It's very prominent in certain areas. Like you just said, like the average Black person in America looks like Denzel Washington. But I'm giving you like an example of like people from California who are very multiracial are different from people who are from like Memphis, Tennessee.
I'm giving you.
Those are 100%. They do not look nothing alike. Those. Wait,
hold on.
Those are straight up darker than.
Wait, slow down, because I want to go back. No.
Okay.
See, you said you traveled different places. I lived in different states. I went to school in different states.
I lived in different states too.
Okay. But you lived in different states as a Senegalese person. Did you live down south, by the way? Because majority of us are down south. Did you go to school down south? Live down south, by the way?
I've been everywhere in the South.
Okay. Did you live down south?
Shortly, yeah. And
which
Atlanta.
state?
I would say I would consider Atlanta, but
come on, man. Mississippi, North Carolina, Alabama, where states are majority black.
Atlanta's like right next to. I mean, Tennessee, like Memphis. Memphis is
Bro,
like Tennessee's next to.
I just
It's next to
came
like
from Georgia.
Atlanta.
I just came from Georgia, my guy.
It's like a 3-hour drive.
I just came from Georgia, my guy. It's a lot of white people mixed in. A lot of white people mixed in.
What part of Georgia?
I got a Georgia
Were you in
license.
Stonebound, or where were you at?
I was 40 minutes from Atlanta. All right, been to Atlanta, been down there, and the Georgia is a lot of white people in these Walmarts. But I'm saying when I was in South Carolina, my guy, you know.
Okay, South Carolina, North Carolina, yeah. Charlotte,
I went to school in North Carolina, Texas, there's a lot of Mississippi, a lot of black. You don't see too many white people unless you leave your.
Yeah, North Carolina has a bunch,
okay.
and they do not look nothing like people from California. Is what I'm saying.
All right, but you making that shit up. But anyway,
what do you mean?
Let's get back.
I was there.
Look, okay, cool.
I'm moving on.
Yeah, but you're looking from you're looking from a Senegalese perspective.
No, I spent time in these places. I'm not just. It's not like I went there for like a minute and then I left. It's like no, I stayed there. I talked to the people. They gave
Okay, so I'm moving the conversation along. I disagree. I'm moving along. I don't want to get stuck. So now you see my reason why I stand on black, right? Why I defined it the way I defined it. Because it holds true, right?
I agree with you. I said if you left the country and you told people like, "Hey, I'm black from America," they would say, "Yeah, like okay, you speak the English language, you speak it properly, more than somebody from let's say."
So I'm confused on. So what was your issue with, or did you? So when I broke down black, because you said you heard me speak on that before, did you agree or disagree? Because I'm confused on your stance.
No, you were trying to. Your stance was you were saying that like that you don't like black. There's a specific look to black. No, that's right now. No, that's right now. I'm saying when you joined the live. I agree with you. I said, yeah, of course. Like if you left the country, you have to identify.
Forget about leaving the country. Okay. When you first came on, because I can rewind it back. You know I can do that live, right? I can rewind it back. I said, hey, what's up? You said, what's the topic? I said, I said, hi, you didn't see the topic and everything. Oh yeah, I seen it. You said, I watched you before. And you're the one that had that position on black. So that means, we're talking about my position before on black.
Okay.
Yeah.
Maybe.
So do you agree with that now? My position before on black.
On black? That you guys, you said that you're the only people that are black?
That's true, right?
Yeah, I guess so. It's like it's an individualist thing. Like, what if that's what you believe? That's what you believe. Like, I'm not gonna.
And that's not believe. I just okay. That's like saying, well, you're Senegal, you just believe that. Like if you're Senegalese, you just believe that. No. I just explained. All right, but anyways, let's move on because you don't. Okay. Yeah, no rebuttals. I'm here for the rebuttals. You don't have any, so
I was literally gonna just give you. I was literally gonna say like just because that's how we just talked about people who are multiracial. They're probably not gonna. They could identify whatever they want to identify if they leave the country. It's not like we're not gonna force them to be like, hey, call yourself black just because you're born in America and you're dark skinned and you have a Native American mom.
No.
And like, we're not gonna do that to people.
I do.
You can do that to people. I'm not gonna do that to people. People are gonna identify who they want to identify with.
You're just babbling. That's not the conversation is about ethnicity. It's about what you call yourself. Okay, yes. You don't have to leave the.
I agree with you.
All right. So let's move on. Okay, good. You're talking to circle now. I'm trying to see where we're going.
But you're having a hard time listening.
We're not good. No. You have a hard time listening. You have a hard time. We passed that. You're Senegalese.
I literally agree with you the first
black.
time.
Okay, cool.
Trying to like bring the conversation in the whole circle.
Yeah, because I'm trying to bring it somewhere else. You're holding on to. I keep trying to move forward. Let's
move forward.
God damn. I'm talking to circle. Okay, so now I explained that. You agree? You don't have to, but that's a fact. All right. Are you in America? Wait, I guess you are. So, Senegalese. So, do you plan on going back? Like,
what do you mean? Do I plan to go back? Go back whenever I feel like it. Yeah. Like, every December.
Did you go back and like build it up, or you just go back to see family?
Build what up? I'm not a construction worker. What are you talking about? Build what up?
You don't. Well, you got money, right? Like, you can pay people who are construction workers in Senegal.
Yeah. What's wrong with Senegal?
No, nothing. I'm saying, do you plan? Okay, dude, is Senegal?
Are you trying to imply that something needs to be built in Senegal when I'm there? Is that what you're trying to say?
Is Senegal? Is it good? The economy and everything, got jobs and everything. It's straight.
I mean, I like it. I don't know. Like, have you been? Have you been there? Like.
No, I'm asking you. I'm saying, is the economy good?
Okay, what did you build in America?
Okay, well, I built the foundation. My ancestors.
What no, what did you build? Not
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
hold
yeah,
on,
yeah.
listen.
Oh
What did you
yeah,
build? What did
yeah,
you build?
yeah.
What
Well,
did you
I'm
build?
building. Well, I
What
built
did
a
you
place
build?
for you to come here and
No,
leech off of.
That's the
Yeah.
white man for
No. I am my I muted this guy. I am my ancestors. I'm not independent of my ancestors. I'm not independent of my mother, father, grandfather, great grandfather. What did you build in Senegal? What did your ancestor build? You guys are in America and you're not even looking to build it back up. This guy said, I'm not a construction worker. Well, you should be. You're causing a brain drain in Senegal. And most likely he came over here as a refugee. Most likely he came over as a refugee. His parents came over with $2 and they went to Harvard somehow. And they live in a mansion with $2. They got one of those stories. All right, bro. You're boring. I'm kicking you off. I don't feel like talking all in circles. It's late night. I got the content I wanted to get out of you. Now moving on. He said he can tell if an FBA person is mixed or whatever. I said, all right, I'm gonna put my video, I'm gonna put my picture up now. Then he backed off on that. Now, an FBA person can look at me and be like, and I ain't gonna say y'all gonna guarantee you guess 100%, but you guys gonna have a good intuition feeling, a good FBA glow feeling on whether mixed. And when we say mixed in America, we're talking about biracial. We're not talking about mixed ancestry. We all got that. When we say mixed in America, we're talking about 50-50. That's why I said, how do you, before I go down this rabbit hole, how you define mixed? Then he's talking about, well, the admixture. Well, then that's every FBA then, dark and light. We all got the combination of white, American Indian, and black. Ah, boy. Yeah, he started coming on here and acting like he had a problem with me saying that we're dealing black people. Okay, so when I proved that, had no argument from him, now he want to stay on rabbit hole talking points. Oh, I can tell somebody's black. I'm like, from a Senegalese perspective, I'm like, well, when we go abroad, they pretty much can identify as FBA. I was given anecdotal experiences from my friends that play basketball overseas. When they go to China, when they go to London or whatever, Europe and play basketball, they're told, hey, like they most likely know they're from America without saying one word. Because they're not jet black with the average African, typical African features. Like Tariq Nasheed, like he said they look like a certain way, but Tariq look like the way like Denzel to me, like the same complexion. And he said when he goes abroad, they know full well he's a tourist. They know he ain't from one country, one tribe in Africa. They know that. And most people who are honest that go to Africa said the same thing. Right. Oh boy. Yeah, admixture versus biracial. He said biracial first. Or he said mixed. I don't know, but I didn't want to play semantics. So I want him to flat out tell me, are you talking about biracial or admixture? He said admixture. I gave up. I'm like, okay, I'm good. Because admixture just means what we already know. Black, white, Native American. All right, let me finish up this tether. 2 tethers in one night. Anybody else?
If I see,
yeah, he started to lie, act like, what's the topic? He see the topic, like, so when you seen I was live, you just like, how you get the Zoom link, my guy? You seen the title.
To recall your DVD series or your documentary series, Hidden Colors.
Oh, by the way, once I get content from you, you're out of here. So once I explain to him that we're the only black people and he conceded, I'm good.
You went through
I'm gonna use that for a clip. All right. I tell you guys, it's really easy to demonstrate to these guys that they're not black, we're black, and they're cosplaying when they say they're black. They're leeching on our legacy, history.
Multitude of black achievements from Africa and African people, achieving colors. You DVD series or your documentary series, Hidden Colors.
So family, this is why we got to take black back. Now look what he's about to say right now. He's going to confuse black with African and use them interchangeably.
You went through a multitude of black achievements,
right,
from Africa.
No. Africa is not part of black achievements, my guy. Africa is part of African achievements.
And African people, okay? And you made, I'm guessing, some good money off of that documentary.
They go to pocket watching. But every chance he gets, he flashes Cash App and Zelle account and PayPal.
Should I say that you were leeching, okay, off of the achievements of African people to make a documentary? If the rhetoric you're going to spew now is that we are trying to leech off of you, it doesn't make.
Now, how does that make sense? He's holding Africa in a positive light as he makes quote unquote money from it. He's holding Africa in a positive light as he quote unquote exchanges that for money. That's what he said. Now, when you guys leech off of us, how are you holding us up in a pot? What's the exchange? You're saying Tariq Nasheed exchange is holding Africa up in a pot like for coins. When you leech off of us, what do we get out of it? Okay, so Tariq Nasheed gets paid and the world look at you guys as a successful or a country or a continent with rich history. So there's a quid pro quo there. There's a even exchange. When you leech off of us, what do we get out of it? So that was a false equivalence. That was a horrible comparison. What do we get out of you leeching off of us?
This is all division. Black people all around the globe have achieved things.
No such thing as black people around the globe. And again, he's showing the hidden gems, the hidden rich history of Africa, and not just Africa. He talked about the Australians, the Aztecs, all type of people, not just Africa. Like these liars want to just act like it's Africa. All right. So he talked about the hidden history of many people across the world, right? And he exposes that hidden history, that hidden rich history, those gems to the world. So he's holding you guys in a great light. He did the 1804 Haiti documentary, right? He held Haiti in a great light. He's saying, put some respect on Haiti's name. Put some respect on Australia's name, African name, and anybody else who's considered as Aboriginal or native somewhere. Now, and you're saying he's exchanging that for money. Cool. That's called commerce. All right. So now how are you exchanging with us? You're leeching off of us. What do we get out of it? His Hidden Code documentary series is putting respect on Africa's name and showing the world of your rich history. So he's countering white supremacy outlook on you, where they show you guys as savages with bones in your nose and just eat bushmeat all day. Okay, he's going against that. Okay, so that's the exchange. What is the exchange with you leeching off of us? What are we getting out of it?
You can go down to southern Africa and find the oldest calendar in the world, dated at 75,000 years old. You can go up into the interior of Africa and you can...
Brother, or other, I want to know the exchange. What do we get out of you leeching off of us? Do you hold us in a positive light? F-U-X, no. You don't. You talk about us like you did earlier. You say we don't have culture. We have identity crisis. We don't know who we are. We're lost. We're really Africans. That's the exchange. You leech off of us and you disrespect us. That's literally the definition of a tether.
You'll find the Ishango bone.
Man, you the Ishango bone, bro. You don't stop with that.
Eastern Africa, calendar, and no one group of people are going to be talking about leeching.
Now, he's showing these great things in Africa that was ancient years ago. Brother, can you talk about greatness in Africa for the last, let's say, 400 years? Can you give us some greatness in Africa in the last 400 years? He can't, because the only thing he can actually speak on is the slave trade. That was the last greatest moment, the slave trade.
Off of the achievements of black people from ancient times, but all of a sudden now people want to leech off of your achievements.
No. Yeah. There's no black people of ancient times. Black is a new concept that started in the 20th century. All right.
Your achievements are our achievements, and our achievements are your achievements.
That's a lie.
If you see it that way.
Yeah, he winked his eye. Yeah, these tethers, yo. Oh my God.
This is actually petty. Jamaicans are the fastest runners. There was a time where Americans were the fastest runners at the
Okay. Stop it. Stop it. Black Americans, we've dominated track historically. Jamaicans are finally competing with us, and we still dominate track historically. Jamaicans have their moments here and there, and they're still dominated. Okay, so now we have, so Usain Bolt was their brightest moment. And I like Usain Bolt. I was a fan of his. All right. I supported him. I rooted for him. But as I recall, that was your greatest moment in track for men. And then with the women, you had Shelly Ann Foster and a couple of those girls who were pretty fast. But that's pretty much recent. What's her name? Damn. Hold on. Because we got Sha'Carri Richardson, but we got somebody else. Hold on. We got somebody else who's been kicking everybody. Hold on. Really? So I can't. Here we go. Hold on. Let me get her. There she is. No, there. Hold on. Last name. I know her name. Is this it right here? Let me see. Oh, I know her name now. I remember. There we go. All right. Check this out. Okay. Better put some respect. All right. Hold on. Walk with me, family. Walk with me. God damn, man. The fuck. Family. I don't know if you watch track, but if you watch track, then you probably only hear Sha'Carri Richardson name when it comes to the women. Let me introduce you to the baddest woman in track today. It's right here. She, in my opinion, came out of nowhere. So it was Sha'Carri Richardson and Shelly Ann Foster, I think, going at it all the time. Only their names being mentioned. This woman right here came out of nowhere. She is the baddest woman in track. So this was a 100 meter. Okay. I want to play a one where okay, so this was the 100 meter. She dominated. So let me see without playing it. Let me show you where she's at. She's right here. Okay. I mean, she left everybody. Hold on. Look at that. Smoked everybody. Wasn't even close. I mean, she came out of nowhere. Look at her. This is Sha'Carri Richardson right here, I think. Everybody, this is 100. Now, I'm going to show her 200. She's the baddest in track right now. Ain't nobody close to her. Out of nowhere. It was all about Shakira Richardson and Shelly Ann Foster. Okay. Here she is. Okay. I want y'all to see the people who are, she's American. She's a top runner. I want y'all to see. Okay, that's Gabby Thompson. She's nice. Here she is. Okay. Out of nowhere. Now, this was a race that usually Gabby Thompson will win, the one I just showed you. Shelly Ann Foster, or I think Shakira Richardson joined it. She was doing pretty good. But this is normally a Shelly Ann Foster race. I think she'd even join. I'm not sure if this is the one. I think she dodged Melissa. Okay, so now let me show you how this looked. So you see how fast she did in the 100. Let me show you where she's at now. This one. Here she is. No, when she runs, no 100, 200, nobody's in sight. You see? Melissa Jefferson Wooden adds 200 to 100 national title outdoor. What y'all to see? Look at this. Look where she's at. These guys running their fastest. She's done running. Okay, I wonder if she faced. I could have sworn she faced Shelly. Look, can anyone stop Melissa Jefferson? Is this the one? I want to find the one where she creamed Shelly. There's no one to stop her. This came out of nowhere. She's the best in the 100 and 200. She's smoking everybody. I want to see the one with Shelly Ann. This might be right here. 3 champions battle for 100. It might be. I'm gonna click a few of them to see we get her. Yeah, she's become that one now. Okay, it's no longer Shakira. Shakira's still up there, but it's all about Melissa. She's number one. Damn. All right. Anyway, let's check these out. I want to see if that's her. Did she run in this? No. No, she's not in that one. I bet you she'll be in the future ones. Okay, I want to see. And look who got the record. Flojo, okay, American. Okay. Shakira Richardson. There she is. Where is the Jamaican girl? Look, they're afraid to run against her. Family, they're afraid. The Jamaican team is afraid to run against her. Okay. Oh, I'm going to show you the lead she has. When she runs, she's like the female Usain Bolt. I want to play it. I'm going to get flagged. All right. Okay. Let me play another one. I'm trying to see if she ran against Shelly. There she is. Okay. I think she in here now. Is Melissa? Where's Melissa? Oh, yeah, I see Melissa. And, we got Richardson. Oh. Whatever. No, that's not Shelly Ann. What's the other one? Not Shelly Ann washed up. What's the other Jamaican girl? I ain't want Shelly in. Nah, there's another one that's tough. That's tougher than Shelly. Look at this. Look at shit. This is Melissa. Look at everybody else. And these are champions, yo. Shelly, Shakiri. This is Melissa. Yeah, yeah. She gonna be giving that world record a go. I don't know if y'all never heard of Melissa Jefferson Wooden, but if you did, this is an unbiased round update. Okay. Fraser Price. Is that her name? Is that Fraser? Is that the one I'm looking for? Damn. Man. You see where she at though. You see where she at. Okay. Look at this. So don't you bring up track. You see the flag. We dominate track. Jamaica had his moment, but it's typically, when you think of track, you typically think of Michael Johnson, Carl Lewis, all those guys. You think of American runners. Only Jamaican name that we think of in track is Usain Bolt. And that Jamaican lady, I can't get her name. Okay. So that's Shakiri Richardson. We all know who that is. There she is. That's Melissa. Okay. Where is is Jamaican? No, I don't want Fraser. Damn. What's the other? I'm gonna find out her name. All right. There, Sharika Jackson. There she is. That's her name. Let's go back. I got it. Where's Sharika? Why they hiding their names? It's Sharika Jackson. When you think of Jamaican track, you think of Sharika Jackson and Usain Bolt. That's it. Two names. They ain't even sure. They ain't even sure. There she is, number 3. I think that's her right there. Look at the lead. Yeah, this is Sharika Jackson right here. Look at Melissa. Look at the lead. She has become the face of women track, 100 and 200. Okay, when it came, that's Sharika Jackson right there. Looking like Jim Craig when he played that woman. Yo, look at the times, yo. She got 10:61. The next person is 10:76. Yeah, she's become the face of track. She's a one-man army. That's Sharika Jackson. That's the face of defeat. I like her. She's actually pretty good. All right. Let me see who runs in this one. What the fuck? Is Jackson in here? Nah, Jackson ain't it. I'm telling you, I think she stopped trying to compete against I think she stopped competing against. Did anybody see Jackson here? Nope. And I think ever since Melissa been running, Jackson been dodging. She right there. Okay. So yeah, do not bring up track. Is not back and forth. Jamaica's had a good run, but it's normally an American dominated sport. Yeah. They like, damn. Yeah, she's definitely old, but she can't rock with this young girl. Even in her heyday. Like this young girl, this younger listen, chat. She came out of nowhere. This is supposed to be Shakiri Richardson's sport. This is her event. Melissa came out of nowhere. This is her event now. Sharika is older, but she's like a LeBron James. I ain't gonna lie. She's older, but she's still like the best before Melissa. Because like sometimes Shakiri will beat her, but sometimes she'll kill Shakiri. But Shakiri really couldn't beat Sharika in the 200. She'll win sometimes in the 100, but it'll be like 50-50. But in 200, Sharika will kill her. Melissa's smoking both of them in the 1 and 2. It's Melissa who's on pace to try to beat FloJo. It was never Sharika Jackson. Well, it was a little bit. Please, I was fast. Yeah, so family, look, I be knowing this stuff. I just don't be, you know what I mean? Like I talk about FBA, but we can easily switch it up and get on some more other stuff. But I'm not sure if the family, want to talk about other stuff. So, but yeah, man, I be unbiasedly checking in different things.
Sudden y'all different.
This is petty stuff. This is actually petty.
Okay, so you see that? He's saying it's petty. He's giving the same energy the caller's giving him. Okay, Tariq Nasheed admits he's petty. See, he's framing. He's trying to frame Tariq into like a politician, a Jesse Jackson type of guy. He's a comedian, my guy. Just like David Chappelle. Dave Chappelle talks political stuff here and there, and he does comedy. Tariq Nasheed is a comedian, and he also does political activist work.
Jamaicans are the fastest runners. There was a time where Americans were the fastest runners at the Olympics. They're all black. Now people are repping their countries. That's what people do at the Olympics. This is. Are you getting in your feelings about people repping their countries for the Olympics now? That's a little bit petty, in my personal view.
Yeah, only a tether will deny his point. He used the Olympics as an example. When Usain Bolt was doing his thing, I was repping Jamaica as like they're like our brothers and sisters. Like, yeah, that's one of us. That's right. He's from the diaspora. Yeah, that's our diaspora brother. Man, when I had Stupid P, Stinky Peas, and Haskell on this panel, man, they was not trying to hear that that's your Jamaican diaspora brother. Man, they was like, man, it's Jamaica versus America. We beat y'all. I'm like, damn, that's harsh. They were not trying to hear it like that. But everybody understands Tariq Nasheed's point. When it's negative, they're black. But when they do something great in their mind, they shout out their country. It's not just sports. The dude did it on the Grammys or whatever that was, Shabuski. I don't know who his guy is, but he became viral because of what he did recently.
When the Jamaican women
victim, a perpetual victim. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Black Americans.
It seems like a perpetual victim. I'm not gonna.
Now, this is the tethered position on us. We're a perpetual victim. You know why? Because we are the only minority living in a country full of white supremacists. We are a perpetual victim. We're not in control of no laws, no economy, nothing, no judiciary, no Congress, no House, Senate. No, we're not the majority in police. We're not the majority bank loaner, give bank loans. No, we are literally a perpetual victim in America. That's exactly 100% correct. But they can't understand that or don't. They know that they're not dumb. They know that, but they'll play to white supremacist talking points. Yeah, we're living in the belly of the beast. We are still going by white supremacist Jim Crow unwritten laws. Yes, we are. But listen to this tether. This disrespect us. Listen.
I'm gonna lie to you. Seems like you're a perpetual victim. So people can't rep their countries now without you getting in your feelings. Like people rep their countries. People are from Haiti. People are from,
We're agreeing. We're saying keep the same energy across the board. Stop calling yourself black when it fits you. Keep the energy. Raise the flag in your good and bad. Don't just raise the flag in your good. Raise the flag in your good and bad. That's all we're saying. Keep the same energy and we delineated. So you have to now. You have to just keep the same energy. They understand that point, family. The point is simple. We're saying keep the same energy in your good and bad. Don't be Jamaican when it's good and be black when it's bad. We're saying keep saying be Jamaican good and bad. Be Nigerian good and bad. Be Senegalese good and bad. That's what we're saying. We're saying stay delineated. Because that's whatever.
From Nigeria, people are from Jamaica, people's about
culturally, because the mass on the same, but talk y'all in your
one of the unfortunate things that happen with black people, and I would agree with you there, is that we have intertribal warfare.
You're not black, my guy. You're Senegalese. Okay. Africans got the intertribal stuff, not black people. We don't have that. You guys have that. And the proof we don't have it, because when it's time to do a civil rights movement, we get on board. When it's time to march to Washington, we get on board. So if we were tribal, we wouldn't go together. Only that group that believes in that tribe. We're delineating on accord. See? Nothing tribal about us.
And intertribal cultural beefs. I agree with you. However, it seems Americans are not exempt from the same type of...
Yeah, I just cut your point. We come together as a collective to protest, to boycott, the black bus boycott, Dr. King. So you just lied. You just lied. Tribal people don't do that. In Africa, you don't have the Congolese and the Senegalese coming together to fight for something, fight for justice. They come together to fight against each other. Those tribes that the guy just mentioned in Senegal, they don't come together ever for something. Yeah, I remember one time I was reading how hard it is for politicians to become politicians in Africa. It's like, over here how politicians, they campaign in different states. They said in Africa, they don't even waste their time doing that because they don't even speak the same language. Certain people, so they just stick to one side and just hope that the majority just pick them from that side than the other side.
Intertribal wars. You have Bloods and Crips and...
Oh my, yeah, they are. Yeah, Bloods and Crips that's not the culture. That's the minority, my guy. Nobody in this chat is a Blood or a Crip. But you are part of a tribe, my guy. The dude that was on the phone just now from Senegal, he's part of a tribe. That's what we mean. I'm not part of Bloods and Crips. We're saying Senegalese people, he just said they're part of a tribe. They're not just, that's the national name. They're part of a tribe. He just said that. All of you guys are part of a tribe. That's tribal. We're not tribal because I'm not part of the Bloods and Crip tribe. So as a horrible example, as a false equivalence.
Warrens, but intercultural.
You pull that in now. You talking? We got Portuguese while they were about no goddamn y'all. And the minute some white folks come around, fuck that nigga.
That experience, Tariq. I'm not gonna lie. I don't know that experience. Like I said, I'm doing this video because I'm just trying to address some things. You're black. I'm black.
No, you're not. I'm black. You're Senegalese. Okay. We got a Crystal 4 hopping in. Crystal Ford, how are you? Tomorrow I'm gonna do a live, maybe in the morning, about the African can openers. Crystal Ford, you can unmute if you want.
Okay. Am I in mute?
Yes.
Okay. I was looking up this word you have right here. It's ethnogenesis. Right, ethnogenesis. And you know what? You always educate me, my brother. And I looked up that word, and it has so many meanings to it. And I thank you for me understanding what that word, what that word is.
Yes.
As the meaning of it. And you know me, I always go through my Google and stuff like that. I'm a
Mm-hmm.
singer. I always go through my Google, and it says a process in which a distinct ethnic group emerges with a common social culture consciousness of belonging.
Right.
And then right. And then it also says something about a meaning of our people trying to survive this as well.
Hmm.
You know, trying to distinguish us and get rid of us also.
Hmm.
I think I seen that somewhere in this definition that you and this word that you put up. I'm trying to find out where I found it at. I haven't been on the line with you because I've been dealing with my health right now. I put it
Yeah.
on,
Hope
you
you feel
know.
better.
No, I have to have heart surgery.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I have to have a heart bypass surgery.
Hmm.
But
Are you scheduled for it already?
yeah,
Okay, well,
ske-
I wish it's a successful
yeah, I'm scheduled
operation.
for this month on the 20th, and I just asked the panel just to pray for me for
Oh
full
yeah, definitely.
recovery. You know, but I haven't been able to get really on with you because I've been dealing with my own situation,
Right, right. Yeah, you gotta get,
and
yep.
and
Man.
and I and I like when I catch you, I always try to get you and find out what's going on with my
Yeah,
brothers
thank
and
you for the
sisters.
super sticker.
I'm trying to make it. I donate what I can, my brother.
Yeah, I appreciate it.
Whatever I got, I try to give it to who. I try to spread my little change around.
Yeah.
You know, but I like what you had there. That word, and I said, well, let me look at this word. I don't know if any other panel looked up the definition of the word. I hope every time when you put up some words that they look up the definition of what the
Yeah.
word mean
I was
and get.
actually going look, I'm gonna show you my screen. As you're saying that, I was actually going to go into that. Can you see
And
my screen?
wait a minute, yeah, I see it.
See ethnogenesis? Yeah. So now that's the full breakdown. So an ethnogenesis is actually more than what you guys can fathom. It's a complex thing. All right. Is and I'm gonna touch on a different thing. Matter of fact, let me just play this audio right here because there's a lot of like trolls and hater that comes under the guise of critics that try to misrepresent what we mean. Well, first of all, misrepresent what ethnogenesis mean, and then misrepresent what we mean when we say it. So I'm gonna play the audio of this and he has a doctorate degree line. Check this out.
Okay.
There's been a lot of confusion. Some believe that the ethnogenesis is something genetic.
Okay, so now he said that we believe it's something genetic. When you guys look up ethnogenesis very deeply, it's the process of ethnogenesis, right? The process of ethnogenesis. The
Right.
formation of a new ethnic group is primarily a social and historical phenomenon rather than a biological genetic one. So for him to say that some of us say it's genetic, he's flat out lying. Ethnogenesis is a social and historical phenomenon rather than a biological one. So, family, what that means that people with different ancestries can go through an ethnogenesis together. So, for those whose ancestry goes back to Africa, those people genetics who does not, their ancestry stays in America. The fact that we went through U.S. child slavery together, share the same culture, ate the same food, married each other, we're still an ethnic group by the very definition of ethnogenesis. It's not a biological thing necessarily, right? Is what you go through, share everything for over like a certain amount of 100 years, right? You be considered one. So let's say hypothetically, a slave master's son did something, just say heinous, and they threw him in with us to work the cotton fields, and they threw his wife there too, and they had a kid. and their kid worked alongside of us, Jim Crow, all that stuff, Black Reconstruction took part, and we embraced
Right.
him. That dude would be considered a foundation Black American.
Right.
And he'll be a part of the ethnogenesis.
Cause he had the same experience that we had.
Right. Yep. And share same culture. And then we accepted him. Now we don't accept him. I don't know what the hell he is, but we embrace him as one of us. Yeah, that's how it works. It's not necessarily a biological thing.
Right.
Even though a lot of us happen to have the same ancestry, but it's not built on that. But a lot of Pan-Africans will pretend like an ethnogenesis means that you have the same ancestry and that your ancestry has to go back to Africa. No, your ancestry does not got to go to Africa for you to be FBA. See, but this is why they don't call it my show, though. So like, what they'll do is they'll talk about us and they'll selectively talk to different FBA people. But some of them already know who I am. Like Dr. Ruxpin told you, like he watched me a few times. Like they know how I research, they know how I give it up. They know I'm not making up stuff. They know my arguments are pretty much solid. And I also update my arguments. So let's say if I'm arguing one thing, because you guys heard me argue certain things. You guys heard me call the immigrants Black at one time. But as I study and research more, I realized, oh shit, they're not Black. See, so I'm not ashamed to update my information to be more accurate, to be more correct.
And I've been working since I couldn't really do anything. I've been working on looking at a lot of stuff myself. And I looked at today a video of YT, right?
Mm-hmm.
And over New Orleans, and how the French bought all the I don't know if I could say prostitutes on this line.
Yeah.
They bought all the prostitutes and all of them over there to New Orleans, and how they made all the YTs that was prostitutes have enter into our colonies. And I was like, wow. And I was like, that's why they don't want to talk about their people and where their people came from, because when their people landed here, they wasn't considered, they was slaves. Not
Right.
slaves, more so. Like, yeah, you might have to say
You talking about
slaves.
indenture like servants, something like that?
Right.
Yeah, they weren't chattel slaves.
Right, but
They didn't endure chattel slavery.
Right, but they had to answer to the other colony that brought them over here.
Yeah. Those called indentured servants, but a lot of them were willing. Like they were willing
No,
servants.
they said when I looked at it, they wasn't willing. They was catching them.
From where? You said
they
French?
They was catching them from France.
France, and brought them to America?
Brought them to America.
Yeah, wait, let me look that up. Yeah,
to New Orleans. And they was prostitutes, and they brought men over, and they brought the prostitutes over, they brought the jailbirds over, and all them.
They were from what country? From what country?
From France.
Wait, Jimmy, you talking about white Frenchmen?
Yes.
Yeah, I don't know about that.
Yes. And I didn't know about that either till I watched it. And I was like, wow, I didn't know about that. That the French brought the YTs over, and the prostitutes, and they brought the jailbirds over, and they made the prostitutes marry the jailbirds, and they had all these prostitutes marry the jailbirds in New Orleans to populate New Orleans, because there wasn't a lot of them over there. And I was like, wow, I didn't know about that. So every day it's always some new history that's being told to us that we ain't learning our Rockefeller school system. I always say the Rockefeller school system, because I get mad. I spent 12 years in school, and I'm still learning stuff that they never taught us in school.
Okay, so there's some truth to that. It says in the early 18th century, so we're talking about 1719.
Right.
Right. It says the French government forcibly sent hundreds of women from Paris prisons, hospitals, and house of correction to. Okay, so this goes along with the that's called forced migration. This goes along with what happened in Britain when they sent their undesirables to America.
Right.
But anyway, it says they came here to serve as wives for the colonists. It says while often labeled prostitutes or undesirables. Remember when the British sent their undesirables over here. It says by officials, they said, but they were actually poor, orphan, or falsely accused women rather than professional sex workers. So they were mislabeled prostitutes, but they were the wives of these people. But so a lot of stuff you said is true though. It says the 1719 policy was to stabilize the colony. France offered freedom. See, freedom. That's what I said. I said they came over here as either indentured servants or so they had a choice, like the Brits. Hey, stay in prison, or get your freedom in America. So, but this is good information. I didn't know this. Now I know it. It says to stabilize the colony, France offered freedom to prisoners on the condition they marry and relocate to Louisiana. So, like I said, it was voluntarily. They were not kidnapped. It says It says over 200 women, including 96 from the notorious La Force prison, were sent on ships like La Moutine, the mutinous women, to populate the territory. It says mislabeling and context. While some had been arrested for prostitution, historian Joanne Dijon suggests many were victims of systemic corruption with charges fabricated to clear the streets of the poor. Yeah, so they were being mislabeled.
They were scared. That's what happened. Yep, that's what happened. Yep.
So it says, while some correction girls, in quotes, were lumped in with the filles à la casket girls,
they was forced.
The latter were typically respectable women chosen by the church for marriage. So so they were not prostitutes at all. They said they were respectful women chosen by the church for marriage, often championed by the Jerusalem nuns. Despite the harsh conditions, these women were essential in building the colony and our ancestors to many in Louisiana. Some men in the colony initially refused to marry these women due to their histories, but they eventually settled into the colony. All right. Yep. Yeah. So that is some good information right there.
Yep. I didn't know that. I told you I learned.
But I knew something. Well, so it's true what you said, but I knew something was off. I don't believe they were actually prostitutes. Yeah, they were called that. They were the undesirables.
Right, but I
but still good information.
Right, I just learned. I learned that today. I was like, wow, I didn't know that. So you learn every day. You get up. Every day I get up, my brother. And I try to learn something new.
I just learned something today from you.
Yeah. And that's what happened over there. Yeah. And I learned, I was like, wow, I didn't know that. And I learned that today. I just want to say that you're never too old to learn.
That's right. That's why I try to share information all the time here. And
you're never too old to learn. I'm in my 60s and I'm still learning.
Right.
And you know what? I always said I was going to promise that when I finish dealing with what I have to deal with, I'm going to go back to Maryland. And if my aunt's still living, I'm going to see if I could get her on the line. She's 97 years old. And you said you want her. I'm going to try to see if I could get her online with you. Because I said you was the first one to ask me to bring my aunt online. And I keep on saying that I have a 97-year-old aunt. And I said I was going to bring her online. And you're the first one to ask me, my brother, to bring my aunt online. And when I sit down with my aunt, I'm going to make sure that I'm going to bring her online with you. You're going to be the first one to interview her.
Okay, I'm with that.
Yeah.
How old is she?
97.
Oh, yeah. I would love to interview the super elders. Yeah.
97. A living history.
Yeah, I got to ask some questions.
Yeah. And I'm gonna see when I go visit her and she got all her mind, all her mind.
Really?
So yes, she
Yeah,
got all. She has all
I'm
her
trying to
mind.
convince. I'm
She
trying to work on the
remembers.
lady.
She
Go ahead.
remembers every. She has come from 9 siblings, and
Damn.
and and her sisters and them have 14 kids and all that there, and she remember everybody's birthday.
Really?
Hmm. Everybody's birthday, the day that her nephews and nieces that passed away, she remembers everything. So
Yeah, that's
yeah,
impressive.
I was like, wow. Uh, I don't even remember half of them, but she remembers everybody's stuff. And she's
Um,
97 years old.
yeah,
97
I
years.
would love to talk to her. I want to give an example of an ethnic group that ended as known as the ethnic group today, and didn't
Okay.
necessarily share the same ancestry. So, you got the Metis in Canada, M E
Mm-hmm.
T I METIS,
Wait a
and
minute.
the
Let me look it
yeah.
up. Let me look it up. You know I look up stuff. Let me look it up.
Mm-hmm.
Because I want everybody that's on your channel, you talking information, but is the people really getting it and looking up the information and understanding it themselves? Because you're a teacher, let's put it that way. And when you teaching, you're teaching, and you giving these words out, and people have to understand what these words mean. When I got on your channel, I said, okay, he got this ethnogenesis thing, or what does that
Yeah,
mean?
yeah.
And the first thing I did before I got on your channel was look up the meanings and words of it. You know.
You know what the thing is, this is why I say these things over and over and over. I don't just say it one time and move on, because I know that these are new concepts, new ideas, and new definitions. So when a guy was like, "Yeah, man, when you go abroad, you call yourself American," I said, "Yeah, I said dim on him." He was like, "Yeah, I guess that. Yeah, yeah." See, like he's trying to have a conversation, and that's what a lot of these
Uh-huh.
folks do. They try to have a conversation and they try to give critique and pushback of things they don't know, but what they need to know. So somebody can say a word you don't know as a deflection. Oh, you don't know that word? No, I don't know it. But that don't
Right.
have nothing to do with the argument. But
Because
hold
because
on.
they
But there
got
are
when I look at it right, they got a sentiment, they got a pronunciation,
synonym. Yeah, synonym.
right,
Yeah.
and they have a census in it, and then they
Yep.
also have a African American. Let me look at this African American thing here.
Yeah, it's gonna say
Okay, they said a
Jesse
Black
Jackson.
American described for formation of a district ethnicity in the United States, born from shared experience of slavery and oppression in the Jim Crow and resilience. That's what it said here. That's
Yeah.
what AI gave me.
All right. So it's getting late. Let me finish the show so I can get
Okay,
out of here very shortly. I
all
thank you
right.
very much. I
I
appreciate you
thank
calling
you,
in.
my
Thank you for the
brother.
super sticker. Yes, man. I enjoy you shared some information with me I didn't know.
Okay.
1719. I'm sure I'm be able to wiggle that in a conversation in the future to make a point. I'm sure I will be able to use that.
Yeah. Anything that I learn, and I bring it back to you, and I bring it back to the class and let them know. So you let them know. I bring it to you. But that's what I learned
All right.
today.
So I got some new stuff that you're gonna learn, and everybody's gonna learn in a second or two. All right. So jump back down in chat, and you might want to listen to this, and you might want to, write it down, or when the video's over, run it back and play it. But I got some new information for y'all. You're gonna appreciate it.
Okay,
Okay.
thank you, my brother.
Thank
You have a
you.
great
You're
day.
welcome.
You
Bye.
have a great day tomorrow.
Thank you. You too. And I wish your surgery to be successful.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, okay. So, like I said, with Metis, it says while both Metis in Canada and the Garifuna in Central America have achieved specific legal and political recognition as distinct ethnic groups. The legal status of, um, let's say, Foundation Black American or ADOS, that remains a subject of active debate and advocacy, but this is already going around in Canada and Central America. Now, the core difference lies in whether a group is recognized as a sovereign political entity or a protected racial class within a larger nation. Now, the Métis Canada, they're classified as a sovereign Aboriginal people. Okay. Their recognition is Section 35 of the 1982 Constitution Act, and they got hunting, fishing rights, land claims, and self-governance. Right. Then you got the Garifuna, the Honduras, the Belize, right? They are legally classified as indigenous ancestral group, as an indigenous or an ancestral group. Their recognition is international treaties, ILO 169, and communal land titles, and their protection of ancestral lands and linguistic heritage. Well, we are. So we got the Métis, we got the Garifuna, we are FBA. It's proposed. We are saying our legal classification protected lineage group. We're proposing disaggregation in the United States and federal law. We are looking for direct redress, reparations, and specific economic set-asides. That's our position as an ethnic group, no different than the Métis and the Garifuna. But hold on. Let me try to get this out the way so I can get off. Okay. Here's the issue. In the United States, through Jesse Jackson, the legal system primarily recognized Black as a broad racial category. And that was not the case before Jesse Jackson. We advocate and argue that this is a catch-all, and it prevents our ethnic group from receiving redress for specific historical harms like Jim Crow, chattel slavery, redlining, etc. So unlike the Métis, who are legally distinct from First Nations and Inuit people, you might got to go on mute. Black Americans are currently legally aggregated. We're not disaggregated. We are legally aggregated. So now you know what disaggregate means, because we are legally aggregated with recent African and Caribbean immigrants. A major goal of ours is the disaggregation of data in the U.S. Census. So you see how I'm using disaggregation? You can kind of understand what that means. Okay, this would create a specific box for descendants of U.S. chattel slavery, similar to how the Canadian census provides a specific category for Métis. So we can use this as our example, how we're communicating this aggregation and delineation where it's not so bad. This data is seen as a prerequisite for calculating the specific economic debt owed to historical diversity laundering. The Métis and the Garifuna have a legal status tied to specific territories and communal land rights. In contrast, FBA, ADOS, what we're focusing more on is economic redress and citizenship rights within the U.S. political system. We're not looking for the whole sovereignty thing. However, the history of heirs property, I talked about that before. Remember the land laws family, the people losing their homes. So the history of heirs property and land laws is a significant point of legal focus for FBA's ADOS, as it represents a direct loss of foundational wealth. So the legal status of groups like the Métis, it provides a precedent for how a nation can recognize a new ethnic group born from cultural and ancestral blending. This is something I'm going to communicate to Tariq Nasheed. It'll better help break down FBA and our ethnogenesis and our delineation movement to trolls, haters, and gaslighters. You feel me? We can just bring up the Métis. For our ethnic group, FBA, the path toward this status involves shifting from a state-defined racial exonym to a lineage-defined political endonym. You feel me? So these are the talking points that we gotta master and memorize and package it in a better way, right? And I'm gonna do that because I'm gonna cook when I bring that up. So check this out, family. These Pan-Africans and most of our critics that's either foundational but in denial or a recent African Caribbean immigrant, these guys got selective memory, they cherry pick, and they are hypocrites. So there is a group called the Jackson Kush. I'm sorry, there's something called the Jackson Kush Plan. While that was rooted in the same geographic area as our interest in Foundation Black American history, they represent a different political strategy called New African Independence, family. These people got they what we're asking for is something realistic and justifiable. They're asking for some foolishness. And none of these Pan-Africans has said nothing about them delineating. Listen, family, it's called the New African Independence. Unlike our FBA focus on federal redress and lineage-based boxes within the U.S. system, the Kush Plan aims to territorial sovereignty and an independent solidarity economy. They want to be a nation by themselves. All right. So the territory is called the Kush District. So their plan targets a specific 18 county region in western Mississippi along the river known as the Black Belt. Not the African belt, the Black Belt. Okay. So those counties have some of the highest concentrations of Black residents in the United States. Right. So what they want to do is turn those counties into an autonomous region governed by people's assemblies rather than traditional state or federal code structures. Now, listen what they want to do. This is, you want to talk about far-fetched. You want to talk about far-fetched. This is what they're asking for. They got a 3 pillars of plan, or they got a 3 pillars of the plan. The plan founded by Chokwe Lumumba, and the Malcolm X grassroots movement operates on 3 distinct levels of power. Listen to this, family. They call it the People's Assembly. These are community government bodies designed to give residents direct control over their neighborhoods, essentially bypassing standard city council models. Then they got the Independent Political Party. The goal is to run candidates for office who are not beholden to the Democrats or Republican parties, ensuring they only answer to the people's assemblies, right? Okay, then they got the Solidarity Economy. This is managed through Cooperation Jackson. It involves building a network of worker-owned cooperatives, community land trusts, and fab labs to make the community economically self-sufficient. All right. As of 2026, the son of the founder, Chokwe Antar Lumumba, has continued these efforts in Jackson, Mississippi, and you guys know nothing about this. These Pan-Africans gonna got nothing to say about this. Okay. So the catch for speculators is that the corporation Jackson uses community land trusts to buy up land and homes to prevent the partition sale. Remember the heirs of property, the partition land sale scams, and gentrification we've been researching, right, and looking into. While we advocate FBA, while we advocate and focus on disaggregation data for the purpose of receiving a specific debt from the U.S. government, reparations, the Kush Plan focused on building a separate base of power, segregation, so the community does not have to rely on the government for survival. Okay, so basically, we're asking just for a fair share of the American pie, while they're asking for a separate whole nation. You dig? When we're asking for a piece of the American pie, they're asking for their own bakery. All right. So, but nobody's ever heard of that. The Kush Plan. That's some Pan-African stuff that went under the table. And now you talk about delineating. They're saying we want to get away from it. We ain't saying that. They want their own town where you're not even allowed. All right. So anyway, tomorrow we're gonna talk about we're gonna have fun tomorrow. We're gonna talk about the African can opener. We're gonna talk. You ever heard about the African can opener, sister?
No,
Okay.
no.
Yeah. It's a sad thing that well, have you ever heard of Ibrahim Traoré?
Yes.
Okay, so Ibrahim Traoré had they say he kicked out the French and he did a deal with the Russians, right?
Yes.
So it looks like part of that deal is that Africans got to go and fight for Russia against Ukraine. Now they didn't know that was part of the deal. These guys are frontline. Okay, they put them on the front line with only 3 weeks of training. When they get injured in war, they're not even accompanying them. They're not assisting with medical attention. They're stepping over them like AI did Tyronn Lue. They're stepping over them and they're marching forward. They're not even like giving them medical attention.
Yeah, they showed Africans. Can you still hear me?
Yeah.
They showed Africans that had the bombs on them.
Yeah, right here.
Fighting
on my screen. Yep.
Yeah,
Look at my screen. This
Wait a
is right
minute.
here.
Yeah, they showed that. I was like, oh my God, they just showing them when they had the detonators on them.
the landmine. Look.
Right, the landmine.
Right there.
A Russian speaker hurled racist insults at the man, saying he is being used as a can opener to breach an enemy bunker.
So he's being used as an African can opener to reach an enemy bunker. So tomorrow, we're going to go more in depth on African can openers. Now, it's interesting to me because they won't fight for none of our causes in America. They'll come over here and be like, you're on your own, nigga. I fight for immigration only. But they would take their ass to Russia and fight for white supremacy.
And it's white on white crime. That's what I don't understand. You know, you fighting something that really don't have anything to do with you, and
they're frontline. They're fighting. They're frontline fighters.
You fight right on white crime. I don't know. It seems like the older I get, the dumber this world gets. I don't understand it.
Where is my can opener?
It just feel like the more older I get, the more it feel like the more stupid. I don't know how to say it. I don't know what correct word to say in it because you gave me a lot of definitions, So I got to look at my dictionary and put that word correctly in its place. But it seemed like it's like no one's really thinking common sense. No, it's like nobody has no common sense no more.
Well, common sense ain't common anymore. That's the thing.
I don't know. It went out the window. I'm like, logic went out the window.
Now that been gone. Logic goes out the window when you have a melting pot, right? So but that's the whole thing. When you have a melting pot, what was logical for us is not logical for somebody from a whole different country, because their understanding of the world is different. And I'm gonna talk about that tomorrow. So we are people who are in a minority, right? Are we the minority in a majority nation? That's not everybody else's experience. That's not everybody else's experience. Everybody else's experience, they are the majority. So when Venezuelans come over here, they're the majority in Venezuela. When Jamaicans come over here, they're the majority in Jamaica. When a Nigerian come over here, you see what I'm saying? So they all make up the majority of their homelands. We're the only people who don't make up the majority. So what's logical to us is not logical to them. This is the disconnect. So when we talk about racism, that's logical when you are not the minority, when you're the minority, not the majority, to be discriminated against. But these folks who come from countries where they're the majority, they don't know what that is. So they see that as illogical. They see that as you making excuses, you're perpetual victims. And that's what the booty scratcher just said earlier. So you see, so it's not logical. Logic goes out the door when you have a melting pot of people with different historical experiences. What's logical to us ain't logical to a racist white supremacist. What's logical to them is, yeah, we're supposed to dominate the world and strip black folks from wealth in America and,
You
and
know what?
subject them.
Even though I travel in some places around the world, and my son right now he's in Malaysia, and I told him, he kept us singing how African brothers is over there, distinguishing themselves as African, as Americans, as Black Americans, right? And how they was giving the brothers in the United States a bad name. And I said, well, we over here in the United States, we fighting against that. We already know what's going on. And he said, yeah, Mom. He said, because they over here, trying to wear their dreads and the cornrows and all that stuff, they braids, and trying to talk like, trying to co-play like they us from the United States of
Yeah.
America, and they giving our brothers over here a bad name in Malaysia and Thailand and all those other countries. And I said, why? At first, I didn't understand it. So y'all brought it up to light. He was always, he told me that a couple of years back, about 5 years back, but I didn't really catch it at that time. And then when y'all started bringing up, that Coldplay and how a
Yeah,
lot of,
cosplay.
right, the cosplay, and how all these other people from other countries trying to play like they American brothers, and how they giving y'all bad names and stuff like that overseas, and that's another thing that the brothers and sisters got to deal with when they go over to another country. Other people cosplaying like they us,
Yep.
and I'm like, well, why can't they just be themselves and be like they from their own place? If you from Nigeria, be Nigerian. If you from Jamaica, be Jamaican. If you from whatever country you from, be who you from. Why you always gotta be trying to act like you an American brother or sister? Like, it's so many battles that we have to fight from on the land and overseas that is ridiculous. It's just not
Yeah.
just fighting it from here. It's also fighting in other countries.
Yeah. Let me share my screen and then we're out of here. I gotta get some sleep. Okay. So this, I want to
I'm
introduce you
surprised I'm up
guys.
this time of night talking to y'all on this internet.
I want to
It's
introduce you
3:16.
guys.
It's 3:16 Eastern time where I'm at.
Yeah, same over here. I was about to get off this thing in 1 second.
I'm surprised I'm up this time of night.
Really?
But I said it's Saturday night. I see my brother on the phone on the internet. I said I'm going to be on here with you today.
I definitely appreciate you. Definitely learned something today. To throw in my little bag. How do I save this? Okay. There's a song. How can I ease the pain when I know you're coming back again? How can I ease the pain in my heart? You ever heard that song?
You trying to sing, my brother? Okay.
Yeah. I used to annoy, man. I had this coworker, his older coworker. Oh my God, named Pat. Oh my God. I used to annoy that
and
because
you
I was
know
a,
what? And this
hold
is
on,
my question.
wait. Let me finish my story. You can just cut me
Okay.
off. All right. Let's talk to the chat. So when somebody when we're at a job and somebody claim they don't like me, and they make it known, that's the worst thing to do. Cause what I'm gonna do is I will annoy the hell out of you on purpose. I will troll you legally, like, policy wise. I won't make it obvious. So with her, I forgot who sung that song. I knew she liked that. I knew she liked that artist as a favorite singer. So so I knew I can't sing with the lick. So I knew if I sing that song like that, it'll piss her off. So when we work together, I will purposely be like, how can I ease the pain when I know you're coming back again? How can I? I look at her face, she be ready to, oh my God, slap the man. Yeah, I'm the worst guy to, because I would do anything by the rules. I would ask you, I would say, good morning, like in front of the boss, when I see you, good morning, making you say good morning back.
And this is my question. I was always I wanted.
All right, so last question, we get out of here because it's getting later and later and later. Okay,
All right.
I
Let
want to
me
get
ask
off.
one question.
Yeah.
No, this is one question I always wanted to ask. Okay, in the United States, our people built this country up, right, in the 1800s and stuff like that. Well, what was going on in Africa that they wasn't able to do what our people was able to do over here with the inventions and all the things? Because this Black African month, right? This is
Nah,
Black American.
it is not Black African month
I
at
mean,
all.
say it's Black American month. This is FBA Foundation of Black American month, right? And I'm saying to myself, well, why didn't they was able to do what we was able to do over here? And why are they so behind? Like let's say it, because it's not. We always try to say years is behind, but it's not behind. My 97-year-old aunt could say that, so I can't say that.
All right, so let me answer the question. We get off here. Let me answer that question.
So,
Okay.
Okay.
Let
Answer
me
the
answer that question right before you add to it. So we're getting off. All right. So this is what we're talking about tomorrow. We're talking about what is an African can opener. There you go, right there. That's an African can opener. That's
Okay.
allowed tomorrow. Now, you
I'm gonna look
can't.
that up.
You can. Well, not just play it. Well, just watch it live tomorrow. So you'd be surprised.
Okay.
But the reason why they can't get their stuff together is because something called a brain drain. You know what a brain drain is?
No.
Okay, a brain drain is when a country lose their best countrymen. That's who's are the brain of the country, who are the most skilled. They sold their best countrymen, countrywomen to Europe, to Europeans. That's us. They sold us in the 12 to 15 million. So the best people who could build their country up and help them and solve their problems, they sold them to Europeans. Europeans instead use us to build up their country. So their labor force, their architectures, their most smartest people, they sold away. It's called a brain drain. Your brains left the country, and
I
Europeans use us
understand.
to build their countries up. So had they use us the right way, Africa would be a gold mine. They sold us in the 12 to 15 million. So instead of building up Africa, we built up Europe.
Now I understand, because I was like, why are they so behind and we so advanced?
Right. So now I'm not. You're not
Now
going to
I
trick me. Stay.
understand.
Okay. You're not going to trick me. Stay on longer. I answered
No,
the question,
I'm gonna
and
say
now we're
good
getting
night.
off.
Yeah, and I'm gonna
Okay.
say good night to all my
Yeah.
fellow FBAs out there and ADLs and whoever call whatever you want to call yourself today.
All right. Yep. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.
Good
Okay. We're at it. Okay. No more. That's it. We want silence now. Okay. I'm trying to get sleepy. Thank you. Thank you a lot. But I want you to keep me up with you, because I got a feeling when you hang up, you're not going to sleep. I am. So,
Okay. Me
family,
too.
we're talking about the African can openers tomorrow. And that is, well, the Russians call that's an exonym. Okay, we're learning something. XO out, them name. It's an outsider naming them. The Russians gave the Africans who joined the Russian army an exonym name called can opener. They're African can opener. And a can opener is apparently they're expendable Africans in the Russian army. Okay, that's what a African can opener is. It is an expendable African who joined the Russian army.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're going to talk about this tomorrow. Yeah, around 288,000 to 300. They say 380, but 280. That's tomato. Both can, either one. I go with either one. All right. So
And
I'll try to get on a little.
panel,
Now,
whatever they
okay.
learn new, bring
All
it
right.
to the
That's it. No. We want silence. We're getting off. We're getting off. So sis, thank you. We hope you get a successful transplant and speedy recovery. But we're out of here. Good night. Cause sis is gonna have me trying to keep me on this line, and that's not gonna work. All right, yeah. So family, I'm gonna try to get on earlier tomorrow because I gotta catch up on these lives. I'm like behind lives. Peace to y'all. Love you guys. And Dr. Rushman, hope you learned something tonight. I hope you learned. Oh, that's dope. Wait, how do I do that? How do I do that? Wait, I just did something on my wait, I just did something. I just did something on my live by mistake that I never done before. And I'm trying to do it again. It was dope. How did I do that? I did something that I didn't think I could do on Zoom. Now I'm trying to do it again. How? Man, how did I do that? That's crazy. It won't let me do it again. How the hell did I do that? It was wait, am I no longer sharing? Okay. All right, family. I don't know. I did something by mistake and I can't do it again. But anyway, like the video, notification bell. I know a lot of you guys didn't like the video tonight. I didn't get on you, but just like on your way out. And see you guys tomorrow, man.